Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name is David Turner. I'm here with Matt Murray,
Come on, England.
Sean Bell,
Hello.
and doth my eyes deceive
There's an
thy?
apparition.
It's James Farlong, back from the dead. Stop with the popcorn, Matt. We're busy.
Sorry.
James, welcome back.
Thank you.
How's it? I mean, for those of you
Introductions?
Who is this guy? Was he
For
from?
those of you that don't know who this is James Farley. He used to be on the podcast a while back, and
2
he was
weeks
quite
ago.
a popular character. two weeks ago.
Yeah,
I
we
know,
even did
but
a
relatively
T-shirt on
speaking.
him. That's how big he was back in the day. We had a T-shirt on our store at the time which you could buy.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
how big he was.
And he's back on the show. It's quite exciting. Although for those of you that subscribe to our Patreon and listen to the bonus show this week, you will know that he is taking more time off next month. Let's start by thanking.
I might not be. I might not be.
He might not be, and we won't find out until he's in the hotel
Yeah.
and joining the call, and it's not working.
Sean, this is it. He's going to take a microphone and go, it doesn't work, so you can't have a go at me because I tried. That's
No,
what's
that's
going to
not
happen.
what's going to happen. Seriously, I've been okay. Assurances have been made that there is internet that works perfectly. So
Yeah, but that's what Premier Inn said.
no, you can't trust that because you
They're
have to
not
pay
gonna-
for the
They're
premium.
not going to say to you, we've got the internet, but it's fucked, mate.
Does not work. No help.
Patreon.
Yeah, there's no hotel Wi-Fi that's give our support a podcast. Anyway, really, come on.
It'll be. I've done it before. I've done it before many times, and it's been fine. It was just
Absolutely,
one
you
time
have
it
not
happened.
done it before many
I have.
times.
Not
I
from a
have.
hotel.
I've done it. I've done it from Switzerland about 4 or 5 times. They were in hotels. I've done that before. There was no
Okay.
problem.
Patreon producers this month: Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap; Simon Nelson, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights and Human Rights. Welcome back to TCGS, James. Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gasman. I know it's the computer game show, Matt. Before you start talking about branding, Rocketman76, Smooth Monkey, Richard Sawyer, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Sam Higton. No one gives a shit, Matt. Tom S, Stan, Philip with an F, Cutty, Steve Lee, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Man, Tri-State, and Oods. They're the Full Nels crew. They went to patreon.com/TCGS and signed up for the best of the tiers, the Full Nels tier. And thank you to anyone that signs up at patreon.com/TCGS. We have some amazing content coming out. We've just done the bonus show. That was interesting. Lots to discuss there. One of the things we discussed was, and this isn't the most exciting, but trust me, it's good. We discussed the Star Wars Hotel on a video that you watched on YouTube, Sean.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to know that I started watching that. I was like, it doesn't need to be 4 hours long. There's no way this needs to be 4 hours long. I started watching it yesterday. Fucking what a... What, at first, the presentation start. What's the YouTuber?
Jenny Nicholson.
Right, I'd never heard of her before, and which is shame on me because she's got 1.4 million subscribers or whatever, But I watched the video and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not really into this style actually. And then like 45 minutes in, you're like, yeah, I've watched this for several hours straight without having a problem with it. So we talk about the Star Wars Hotel video that she did recently, along with other things, such as going to the O2 to see Peter Kay, and James living a life in the middle of a European tournament at the moment, and not getting us tickets for it. This week we will be watching. I'm genuinely excited about this. I know Sean's qualifying it every time I talk about it, and I get why.
Yeah.
But there is some unfound footage. Is that the right phrase?
No, it's found.
Found footage,
Because if it wasn't
Oh, right.
found, we wouldn't be able
We
to
wouldn't
watch
be able to
it.
watch it. Good
Yeah.
point. There's some found footage of Keith Chegwin visiting Ocean Software offices, and it's raw. It's not edited. It's not put together.
Eddie Murphy
So
raw.
there will be bits where you hear him go, all right, well, let's move. Just as it cuts off. I can't wait for those bits.
So I
those are the
also
bits that I'm looking forward
found
to.
the actual show that he was filming for.
Oh,
So
right.
I might just cut the bit where Ocean Software is featured in it, and like.
Oh,
tack
is
that
it
on
just
the
like a
end, and then
really-
we can- It's about
hour-long
20
footage
seconds.
for about 20 seconds. That's brilliant. Except maybe we watch the whole footage and try and decide what 20 seconds is in the actual show. Patreon.com/TCGS. That's a talks over we're doing on Wednesday at 9 p.m.
Yeah, I'm
So
really
come
looking
and
forward
watch
to it
that
'cause it's really good to hear kind of like behind the scenes stuff when like maybe you don't expect it. It's just really interesting, I think, isn't it, for the viewer, for the
It's
listener.
like the only record of what it was like down there, right?
Yeah.
It was like in this like basement floor of this building in Manchester, but I think I don't think there's anything in there now. I think it's like well, it's not like abandoned, but there's no one's using that bottom floor.
But yeah,
But
I mean,
it's-
I think with like just really tightly edited things normally, it's just really interesting suddenly to hear, stuff maybe you're not supposed to hear in the background. It's just really cool.
That's the stuff I live for. That's the stuff I live for. I'm hoping at one point the camera goes down, you can check when going, I've got to go for a piss. Like, I just that's all I want, and then I'll go nuts. Like, I'll be happy with that. Wednesday at 9 p.m, patreon.com/TCGS. We have feedback from James and our listeners. But firstly, I need to give a little bit of feedback to Sean Bell, the editing maestro last week. What a fucking shit show last week. I mean, if you only downloaded the show on Wednesday evening, then you're fine.
You would never know.
But can I
For everyone else.
explain what happened my end? Can I explain what happened my end?
Yeah.
So I wake up and I was like, I didn't listen to the show the day before, which I usually do, just to make sure that there isn't anything glaringly scary that's going out. I wake up in the morning, I pressed play on my podcast player while I was doing the ironing, and it started with, okay, right, 3, 2, 1, Matt. And Pete, this is the bit where we all go quiet. And, we just yeah, it's a bit awkward. Is it? Yeah. That's should Sean let me know where, and I'm going, the blood drains from my head, and I'm thinking, what did I say about people last week that I don't want out there? It made me feel sick, like my heart was pounding, and then thankfully, hello, welcome. I was like, phew, got away from that. I fast forward to the end, noticed it wasn't at the end. So explain what happened at that bit, and then I'll get to the next bit.
So typically what I do, so I've got the project already set up with like the intro theme and stuff. So what I'll do is I'll import everyone's audio, find the mat, and then just like cut everyone there, and then just skim forward, cut the bit where we actually start talking, bring that towards the intro theme, right? And then I just kind of forget about that bit. What happened, and not to talk shit about a guest, but
He's going to blame someone else, Matt.
I think
he's going to blame your
record
hero.
as he said Matt, right? There was no Matt on his record.
Can't believe we're doing
He
this to
messaged
people.
me after the show and said I fucked up the Matt bit, by the way. I was like, don't worry about it, we'll work it out.
But
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's not going to
wasn't a
affect the edit at
problem.
all.
Yeah. It's not gonna change anything. So I was like, okay, so just sort of skip forward and just found a conversation where there was a clear bit of back and forth between him and someone else, and then lined it up. I was like, right, brilliant. Then didn't go back to the start to trim the bit when the intro's playing. So that happened, and then that went up.
So then you said, I'll fix it, and just leave it with me, I'll fix it. And then about 5 minutes later, you said, I've replaced the file, it's all sorted now. And now I gave it like a minute, because it usually takes everything time to... And then you delete everything from your podcast player. And then I loaded it up, and I was like, oh, it's just gone to where it was before, because it must have had the same file name or whatever. You've just replaced the file. And it was you chatting. And I was like, oh, right, okay, well, at least it's fixed then. You were like, yeah, and then we'll go... And then it all fell over. Yeah.
So do you know what's really
and
funny?
I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? Why is it just Sean talking?
There's less
at this
people
bit?
now.
So what's amazing about this is that between these two, there was another failed upload.
No. Right. Okay. Right. So let's go from your point of view. So you've woken up and seen the text from me saying, "What the fuck is going on with the podcast this week?"
So straight away, when you sent us a clip, I was like, I know what I've done. Right, that's an easy fix, not a problem. And you'd already had the panic attack, and you'd said, right, there's nothing private in there, don't worry about it. So I was like, okay, I'll sort it. So I get up.
Sometimes off air we just blur out our credit card details. Like it's just something we do. For fun,
mother's maiden name, first pet, you name it.
And then so then what I did was so I opened it up in Reaper again. cut out the bit that wasn't supposed to be there, took the intro theme and sort of brought that forward, or later, if you know what I mean. So lined it all up. Brilliant, right, export that. Oh, and I lined up the sort of start and finish indicators, right, on Reaper. Exported that, brilliant. Put that up. And then about 10, 15 minutes later, people in the Discord like, oh, has anyone got like 30 seconds of silence at the start of the show?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I
What
remember.
have I done that? So then I went back into Reaper and then saw in the export settings, it was set to like full
Export
project
silence.
length. Yeah, rather than just the start and finish indicators. Like export the whole thing. I was like, fucking hell. So again, another easy fix. What could possibly go wrong?
Then you exported Sean only.
Yeah, I pressed
Well,
the
so
short.
that was what was so
button.
insane. Because so as far as I was concerned, this was fixed, right?
Yeah.
Uploaded the new file, and then people in the Discord are like, oh, why is only Sean in this? What's going on?
You must have. What was going through your head? Because I know what I'd be like so angry. I'd be so angry at myself. Like I'd be. Were you just like, nah, fuck it. This is how the show should be.
Well, this is what made me laugh. Is that like, it just seems like the shittest like coup d'etat ever. Like, I don't know what. Actually, I think it'd be better if it was just me. But I'm not going to like skillfully edit it in any way. I'm just.
And I'll prove it. Even me on my own is better than these
No one will
four
even
idiots.
notice. It's going to be.
I
So
like the
basically,
fact
I
that
still
this
don't.
was the week. Just to explain, listeners, this was the week that our guest was a founder of a big podcast production company.
This is the other thing, because before we did the recording with him, I was like, oh, I want to try and slip in a joke about how we're going to try and get acquired by him, right? And a part of me's like, I fucking wish I had now, because like,
yeah.
Yeah, probably failed the interview.
yeah, not the best,
fuck's sake.
best foot in the door. So what really threw me, so I went back to Podbean. I was like, I must have uploaded the wrong file, but it still said just TCGS 406. But I can only assume that it keeps the file name in order to preserve stats and not.
Yeah,
fuck with the feed and stuff.
if it's exactly the same file, it preserves stats. If you give a different name, it'll have like new stats. Yeah.
Right, well, you see, but that's the thing. But so I can only assume what happened was that when I went to upload the podcast for a third time, lost count, is that I must have uploaded just my audio, like just my recording, because the export was fine. Because I checked the exported file, I was like, that's absolutely fine. The Podbean's saying it's the same file, but yeah, I must have uploaded my audio. Like, but that's just my recording of it. So yeah, so then
It's a tough one.
and of course, and then because obviously with all this chopping and changing, because of the way podcatchers work, if you're halfway through streaming the file, it's then going like, oh, well, hang on, I want this MP3 from 32 minutes, 46 seconds or whatever. And then it's like glitching and people are like, oh, I had a bit where it was just Sean and now it's resolved it. So I had to respect, right, everyone just download it again. I promise it's fixed now.
Right,
I know I've said this 3 times already, but this time, I mean...
And then after you'd fixed it all, people started complaining about the
Sniffgate.
clear hay fever attack at the end of the last episode.
So that was, I mean, again, sorry, Pete, if you're listening, that was Pete. So what I think, because I didn't hear any of it when we were recording, so I can only assume he was like muting himself in VDO, which is what we use to record the call. So I was just like, right, well, I don't need to listen to that bit of the show because it was all fine. There was nothing to edit out there, so I skimmed it. And yeah, left in some really loud sniffing noises. And it was like there weren't, it's not like it was it's not like there were so many that I'd be like, well, I would never edit that out anyway because it would take me hours. There was like it was like 3 or 4, I think, wasn't it? But they were very loud. And could have quite easily been taken out. So yeah, won't be applying for a job with Pete anytime soon.
Yeah, and well, we did get an email in the week from the Independent Podcast Awards, so we were shortlisted. And then quickly after that, we just heard the show from this week, and unfortunately, we're going to have to go with someone else.
I mean, I'll be honest, part of me was like, what are they going to do?
probably.
Not let me edit
Wankers.
again? Oh no.
Oh, this is like what you do, like shit washing up.
That's the ultimate reply, and that's why James Farley's keeping so quiet.
Yeah, it's weaponised incompetence, isn't it? Just...
And Matt, because he's relying on it. He's leaning on us a bit, which is fine because he spent so long editing this bloody podcast.
Yeah, no,
we
I'll
owe
edit again.
We owe him a few hundred at this point, so
We do. Right, so that was, if you were wondering what the fuck was going on with the podcast last week, that's your explanation.
Yeah, and to be clear, obviously, I've been laughing a lot. That is nervous laughter. I was mortified, and I am sorry.
that is nervous laughter. I'm worried about losing my job.
Yeah.
Sean, we've got one guy that never fucking shows up. You'll be all right, mate.
That's
you're
true,
you're not at the bottom of the pile.
But David, imagine if they both go.
That is true.
You're gonna bump some burner.
We're gonna bounce on that.
Yeah.
Speaking of the bottom of the pile, James, have you got any notes from the fucking
Well, I think before
couple
James
months
starts,
ago
we should
off,
probably give him an update. It's been a while since he's been gone. James, a little update. E3's dead,
Really?
and
Yeah.
a new guy on the scene called Jeff Keighley. He's got a new thing called Summer Game Fest. That's
I thought
new.
it was Summer Games Fest.
It's Game Fest singular.
Right.
Yeah,
Also,
it's
some
game.
games are in three dimensions
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
What?
It's
And,
a lot. It's a lot, to be honest.
Yeah. A new console's coming out called a Sega Saturn. Not sure if you
That's the
are.
best
bit
one of the
sober.
new
What's your
ones.
feedback?
the bit's done. James, James, have you got any notes from the last 2 weeks of podcasting?
Yeah, I've got a couple. I mean, Ellie and Pete were brilliant, obviously. Like, I really enjoyed listening
Got
to
the names
them.
right,
I
that's
thought
good,
it was,
okay.
it
Good
was
stuff.
very good.
He looks sweet. That's fine. Who's on? Ellie and Pete. Pick.
Specifically, what did you like about them, James?
Yeah,
What
yeah, exactly.
specifically
I
did
just
you like?
thought they brought some excellent extra dimensions to the discussion.
Can you name any?
yeah.
Can you recall any jokes?
Name one dimension.
Yeah.
Sound effects.
Zane.
There were some excellent sound effects from Ellie. I really enjoyed those. Yeah, they were very good.
What, the buzzer?
Yeah, the buzzer was
yeah,
brilliant,
the
especially
buzzer
at the
was
end. That was real good. I laughed a lot
Okay.
when I heard that.
Okay. Well, you
Oh, so
listened to it all
he
the way
skipped to
through.
the end. Okay, he skipped to the end.
James, have you got any specific notes though,
Yeah.
without just going, "Oh, the guests were good"?
I mean, I got two.
Because
I mean,
you
one
really
of them...
shouldn't be coming back after 2 weeks off and saying the guests were really good.
I'm just waiting
Because
because
we're
we're
like-
he's got ChatGPT to write a review of the last 2 episodes.
Probably, yeah.
Well, I mean, because we're going, yeah, they were really good, mate. So buck your ideas up.
I just want to throw my hat into the ring and say I thought that they were very good. What's wrong with that? It's fine.
Right, and
I
Yep,
don't think that's
specific.
what that expression means. Go on,
No, it doesn't. That was a mistake.
throwing your hat into the ring.
As I was
Good
saying it, I
episode
realised that
title.
was a mistake. No, one of the things that you talked about, because I remember you talked about the Wii Vitality sensor at one point,
did.
and you had that whole thing about what was that about and everything. According to Wii, because I remember reading about this a long time ago, so I looked it up because I wanted to make sure that I was right about this. Although Wii Wiki may also be wrong from fandom. It turns out that the IR sensor for that was used in the right Joy-Con, and that's what they use for like Ring Fit and stuff to measure your heart rate and things.
that seems quite flimsy.
Well, that's
Well,
what.
Sean, I'm
Is it
just
not that they
thinking.
both have IR sensors. It's not like
Yeah,
it's
that's
not like Nintendo
exactly what
invented
I'm
IR
thinking.
sensors. Is it?
That's what I'm
Well,
thinking.
don't take it up with Wii Wiki on fan.
It was also used in
you
my
bring it
TV
to the
remote.
You've thrown your hat in the ring, boy. We're going to take it up with you.
It's your hat.
They both have IR sensors. That's
You
it.
know, I read online a while ago, and this corroborated this, that apparently the technology was repurposed for the right Joy-Con.
Technology.
IR sensors have been a thing for a long time, though, mate.
Yeah.
That's not.
I
it
know,
wasn't a
but it's
brand-
whatever specific Nintendo version of it was.
The
I don't
exact
know.
one,
I'm
David.
not adding any more
Serial
details to
numbers.
this. Yeah.
Serial numbers the same.
Okay.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. What else did you like
I mean,
about?
the other thing I did enjoy was I enjoyed the whole bit about the Nintendo Direct and like the whole sort of like because this was before you'd seen the Nintendo Direct, obviously,
Yeah.
and I did enjoy like how dismissive of it you were, David. Like before
Do
it
you
was
know?
coming
Do you
on.
know what? Do you know what kills me about this is you would have been the most dismissive out of all of us if you were on that show.
Yeah, it's not
If you
really fair
bothered
to
to
single
show
out
up.
Dave here.
No, I think
Yeah,
it is. I think it is fair because
Imagine if James was on that show, he'd be the first one to go. It's going to be shit. They've got nothing to show. It's the
that's
end of
not
generation.
true. I'm not always
Nintendo.
like that. That's not true. Like I was the one who was right about the Xbox One recently being
You were right about
very
the
good.
Xbox One.
you know?
Yes, but I
And so-
think you've had reasons for doing that.
And I
there is no way the day before that Nintendo
hang on.
Direct you were saying it was going to be a good one. There's no way. There's no way you were thinking it was going to be a good Nintendo Direct.
Well, hang on. What do you mean? Go back a second. What do you mean by I had reasons for saying the Xbox One was going to be good?
Yeah, that implied James knew he had like the inside line to Phil Spencer.
No. It's not that he knew. I know how James works, right? And he really, really, really wanted to pound Xbox. Like, he really wanted to go in about how... Because you love it when companies fail. It's your favourite thing.
I do enjoy that as well.
But and you're a Sony pony.
Hold on, just let me forget the Sony stuff. So not really got anything to do with the Sony stuff, right?
Yeah, James.
But you love shitting on Microsoft, right? That's true.
I love shitting on anybody.
Exactly.
That's the episode title.
Yeah.
You love that stuff, right? What you were doing there was acting like you were expecting it to be a good one, so you could go in harder when it was a bad one.
Absolutely
That's exactly where your mind was at.
Absolutely not.
It's win-win for James. Win-win.
I correctly read what was going to happen with that.
And you say you do it for anything, but you love Nintendo. You like Nintendo's
yeah. So then, if
favourite.
that's the case, David, why would I have been shitting on the Direct before it happened?
What? Because you love Nintendo,
And
you know
you said that I also would have thought nothing was going to be shown. And
yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think that's the
You
case.
lower your expectations so that you can enjoy the Nintendo one more, and you raise your expectations for the Xbox One so you can shit on it more.
You're a very
how your brain
paranoid
works.
person, you know. Like that's not how this.
How is that
like
paranoia? That's not
It's
what
like
paranoia means.
Trying to
Is your
work
brain
out,
broken
trying
in
to
the
work
past
out
3
all this
weeks?
works and everything. It's not like this.
What do you mean all this works? I'm talking about you. It's not
that's what
all
I'm saying.
this.
Yeah,
I'm
about the
talking
way
about
that I
you.
react to these different things. I don't know why you.
Right,
why you
okay.
think of this. You think a lot
You're
about
doing
me.
you're doing this now because you know that I'm so fucking bang on that you're scared that I'm reading your mind. I know how you work, James. I know how your mind works, and that's how it was working. You were like, "Oh, I'm going to really go and say, oh no, I'm expecting this to be brilliant from Microsoft, so I can really go for it."
I just knew it was going to be very good because they had to do something after all the nonsense.
There's no
they'd been,
way-
They had to
there's
But
do
no
we've
way
said
the
that
day
for like
before.
7 years.
I know, but they
Why-
really had to do something this time.
they really had to last year.
There is no way that you were going to say that it was a good Nintendo Direct before it happened. So don't start throwing that at us.
Well, we'll never
Don't
know
start
that.
throwing-
We'll never know that.
If
I mean, you
anyone
could-
listening to this is thinking,
I'm
I wonder how enthusiastic James was about Microsoft before the presentation. I accused him of huffing paint.
Yes,
That's how,
exactly.
That's
I mean,
how
that-
enthusiastic he was being. I was like,
Yeah.
what is this? Is this a bit? Like, what's that?
It was a bit. You're absolutely right. It was a
wasn't it?
bit.
I was pretty confident that it was going to work out to be very good, and it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
So yeah, so I mean, I was just surprised. I would say that like how dismissive you were about it.
No,
about
you
the
weren't
Direct.
surprised.
How can you be
Everyone was
surprised?
dismissive about it before
How
it
were you
happened.
surprised? You would have been dismissive before it
No,
happened.
we
yeah.
won't know that. But I mean, I
No,
wasn't.
we do know
Convenient,
that.
isn't it?
Well, we don't. I never
Yeah.
said anything before it. So
Sorry, so you gloating for not fucking showing up for a show?
Yeah,
No,
because
I'm just-
I
Is
didn't
that
say
what you're
anything,
doing?
therefore I
guess
win.
we'll never know that because I didn't
won't.
fucking show up. I
That's
didn't
true.
bother to be there.
We won't know. We won't know. For,
I
you know,
took
how I
some
felt
more
about
time
it. But,
off. We'll never know.
But because the thing is, right, is I'm surprised because Nintendo have been pretty consistent throughout this entire generation, and to think that they'd have literally nothing, you know, going into the like sort of the Christmas and everything this year, I don't know. It's a bit weird.
Into the Christmas.
Into the Christmas.
That's another one.
Enjoy that, yeah.
That's another episode title. You've rattled off about 18 episode titles this week. I'm going to find out your comments on the last Nintendo Direct. I'll find
Okay.
that out because you were definitely dismissive of it.
Well, it's only
I
if he
would
was
have been
actually on the
dismissive.
episode, David.
After it, maybe not before though, David. Have a look.
Probably
See-
both, actually. Okay, all right. Next point.
That's all I got. I mean, that's all
Is
I
it?
had about the whole thing.
Good.
But
Well,
you
welcome
know,
back. 2 weeks off, and that's what you come with. Should we
great,
get
great,
to the
great couple of
listeners?
shows.
Cheers, mate.
Yes, we're going to start with someone called Dave. Dave. Really great show this week, lads. Pete was a great guest and very funny. My favourite bit was at 30 minutes and 36 seconds when discussing the length of the Nintendo Direct. Pete came in quick as a flash with, "It's not very direct, is it?" You could hear the sadness in Matt's voice. He either didn't think of the line or he was too slow to get it in. So what was it, Matt? Did you not think of it, or were you just too slow getting it in? We'll move on. Okay, so next bit of feedback. No, I just hadn't thought of it. I just haven't thought of it. It's a great
Matt
line.
was flustered last week because he's a big Pete fan, and I can't take the piss out of you for it because I'm like a big, massive Ian Lee fan. So when he's on, I shit the bed.
Yeah, whereas
but-
I detest Ian Lee. So
but
it's very easy when he's on.
I'm
It was
ambivalent.
quite funny when Pete was there and you started dropping references to his podcast towards him to go, look, I'm a real fan.
Well,
What was
can
it? He
I
was
actually
talking about-
listen?
he was
And like these
He was talking about
wankers.
energy drinks, and he went, "That's probably Tyler's influence, was it?" And he went, oh, yeah, it was.
No, well,
Like, he wanted him to go, hey, man, you're a big fan, aren't you?
no, because that's Jordan from VGC, because he also does
Jordan.
the energy drink. You don't get it,
Yeah,
Dave. Just
part
not
of
even a-
the extended universe.
Yeah.
Who do we need to get on to scare me, do you think? I think it's got to be either Joe Perra
Bayonetta.
or I was going to say Joe Bayonetta would work.
Someone who works in Specsavers.
Well, yeah, I was going to say either Joe Perra or an ASM artist. Either would terrify me, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Please don't
that
whisper,
happen.
or I'll be unable to function for the next 2 hours.
You're stiff as a
Just
brush.
your head slamming on the. Right, okay, that's a funny joke, Matt, but you don't understand
That's
ASMR,
inappropriate.
right?
Okay, yes. Nikki Ninja Air Fryer. Hi, chaps. I just put a puzzle together on the James Ocarina thing. Listening to the Play One podcast, they were talking about the upcoming Deku Tree Lego set, and they were referring to the fact it has 2 builds, one being the Ocarina version of the tree. Then it hit me. A while back, listening to the same podcast, they read out a tweet from a one hacker alias JCA Farley.
Yeah, James is like a massive fan of that show. He's been listening to it
Since the beginning.
Yeah. Which is how many years now? Because Player One
since-
podcast been going forever.
Yeah, it has. It's since I was doing my undergraduate, which was like the early 2000s, whatever. It's a very, very long time they've been going. Yeah.
And they pronounce it Ocarina,
I don't remember. Maybe they do.
They've
and
misled
that's
you.
where it comes from.
But it's
That's where it
Ocarina.
comes
Is
from.
that right? Yeah.
It
That's
is,
right.
yeah.
Arena, yeah.
Why? And why do you remember that?
Because of the cock.
Well, that's not.
Don't say it.
You have to
like
explain that for new listeners, but
No, I
It's
think it's
Ocar-
fine.
Yeah,
think
James got it
everyone
wrong
can
for
piece that
years,
together.
and I managed to get over that hurdle with him by saying it's Ockers in cock.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to say because of the cock, like because everyone thinks that you really don't like Link. So you've got really just come on. But you're absolutely right, Nicky Ninja Air Fryer. James Farley is a big fan of that show, and he steals their material
When I can.
Matt Murray.
Philip with an F. Evening, guys.
When
and a
I
warm
can, because I'm not on this show enough.
Yeah, that's
weeks
why he
apart.
hasn't been on the show. He's been too busy listening to theirs, writing all down, ready for new material for this one.
Yeah.
Philip with an F. Evening, guys, and a warm welcome back to James, if he can be bothered to come back. Yeah, I mean, he has actually, Philip, this time. Just
He
wanted
is
to say
back.
One week
thank you
only.
so much for mentioning the Kyradia games on the last
Kyrandia.
episode. Kyrandia. I have the fondest memories of playing these with my dad when I was very young. I found them on GOG and will try to get my son interested enough to check them out with me. Most people will probably find them absolutely infuriating nowadays, but I remember tracking away through a cave system with a pen and paper and having a wonderful time. It was definitely the third game where you played as Malcolm, the antagonist of the first, and it was the worst of the bunch by far. For some more 90s adventure game deep cuts, I strongly recommend the Neverhood and the Czech-developed LucasArts parody called The Secret of Donkey Island. Excellent episode as always from Philip.
I
That's
didn't know there was
not real,
a
is it?
Monkey Island parody. One day I would really like to stream the Mist parody, Pissed. Which is
That
a real
does
Oh
sound
song.
good.
yeah, I remember that.
Um,
Yeah.
And it's probably not actually funny, but I think John Goodman's in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, somehow. But
Are
yeah,
you
glad
interested at all in Riven, the new kind of spiritual successor on Quest?
Well, yeah, it's a remake, isn't it? Of
Fucking
the-
such
Oh, is it a
sound.
remake?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, it's a very substantial remake, I should say.
What's wrong, David? I've just
Yeah,
heard
you're
it's
just
a
such
VR.
a VR salesman.
a
Are you
VR game.
interested in Riven, the spiritual successor on Quest? Like, I imagine you like going door to door with just loads of quests in your bag.
Someone's got to do it. If Zuck's not doing it, I'm going to have to take up the mountain. Anyway,
Okay.
just throw my hat in the ring, David. Andy, Ramalaptar. David's mention of unexpectedly winning the bleep test reminded me of a time at a Spool Sports Day I was in. In that event, we have
Sports
Full
Day.
Scots Day.
what
That's
did
another
I
one,
say
isn't it?
there?
That's an
A
episode title.
Spool Sports Day.
Spool. That's a good one. Squats. Yeah. Oh god, I've even misspelled that. Okay, let's get back to the podcast. Right.
All right, Matt.
David's mention of
Give you a minute.
unexpectedly winning the bleep test reminded me of a time at school sports day I was in that event. We have a bucket at the start line and beanbags every 5 meters until the end, and you have to put each beanbag in the bucket one at a time before sprint to the end. Know what I mean?
I do.
I was up against two of the best athletes in school. I mean, I don't know how old they are, but it just made me laugh. It was primary school, so not exactly pro athletes, but one of them did end up playing 300 games of professional football for Aston Villa, West Brom, and Swansea.
What?
Who was it,
That's
Andy?
Yeah.
Let us know. Or if any football fans are listening, who can you connect the dots? I mean, I can't.
Yeah, connect those dots.
Yeah, they play 300 games for West Ham, Aston Villa, West Brom, and Swansea. So, yeah, someone let us know. Anyway, we did the race, and I got the final beanbag and realised no one else was near me. Everyone else had somehow messed up, and I was mad in front. But I was so confused about why I was ahead, I must have made a mistake. I did a little spin on the spot to see what happened, and in that time, the other guys caught me up, leaving me third overall. That was 30 years ago, and it still haunts me.
That is painful.
Yeah, I don't like. I think back to moments like that in my life, and do you ever do it? Like it's usually in the car or the shower, where you sit there and think about when you ball something up like that, and
yeah.
go, oh, you palm your head on your hand on your forehead, and just go, oh, fuck, I'm an idiot.
And it doesn't even need to like. It can be something that if it happened now, you would just be like, oh, whatever. I don't. But
Yeah.
because of when it was, it's still.
Yeah.
stings.
Yeah, I've got an exact answer, but people in the chat saying Luke Moore is probably the footballer. Anyway.
No reason for us to dispute that. Let's just assume
No,
that's
that's
it.
that's not. But my specific example of that is when I was in infant school, so let's say 4 or 5, and I was chosen. This might shock you now to be a model for the sweater shop. Anyone remember the sweater shop?
Yeah.
And I guess they were coming in and they're giving like clothes to the school of the kids, and I was like one of many kids who like put a sweatshop jumper on and then walked down to like catwalk and stuff. And I remember being really nervous because there were girls from year 5 in there, and I was year 4, and I was supposed to do 2 laps of I was supposed to go up the catwalk and down, up
This
and
is
get down
literally
again.
an episode of the In-Betweeners. Are you sure this happened?
Is
this
it?
is an
Well,
episode of the
well,
In-Betweeners.
maybe it's
yeah.
one of my life. Right, no, but
Did
so
you have a bollock hanging out?
no, I was like 4 years old.
Okay.
I think
alright.
they hadn't come out then. I don't think. Save up for the Patreon bonus show.
Just about when you're like 18 months or something.
No, I had a medical. I had a
So
medical
you were
issue,
4
Sean.
years old in
Oh
year
yeah,
4?
no, he did.
Don't joke.
I did actually.
did.
I wasn't even joking.
No, he's not joking. He did. It's fine.
Oh, right, okay.
Let's not
yeah,
talk about
we
it.
should talk about-
Matt,
Yeah.
did we not know that we're testicular torsion brothers?
Oh my god! I keep meaning to talk about it on the bonus pop. I just keep forgetting.
Yeah,
You keep it in your back
please.
pocket for like another.
No, it wasn't
No,
even
we're
out. It
done.
could go in my back pocket.
Yeah, I was doing that.
Anyway,
so that's
anyway,
similar,
I was meant to do 2
similar.
laps of this fucking catwalk, and I didn't, and I remember the teacher kind of looking at me saying, "Another one, Matt," and she said, "Oh, just sit down." And the thing I remember most it wasn't the fact I did 2 laps. Is at the time I was like, oh, I should have done a cool little spin instead of sitting down. That would have really impressed the girls in year 5. And I still
I
think,
love that.
oh, why don't I do a little spin instead of sitting
Yeah,
down?
where
Or
would
why
your
don't I
life
do?
be now if you did that?
I know I wouldn't be on a show right now. I'd be putting on Kane and Vince. It'd be massive.
I've got one. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
It's in hindsight. But like, well, who cares? Why is that an embarrassing memory? So I'd been, so when I was at high school, I'd been off for a few days. I was poorly, can't remember why. First day back in, we had a French lesson, and the teacher was like, "Oh, Sean, we're going to do like a little game that's going to be like rehearsing stuff we did last lesson, but you weren't here. So do you want to help me out? Like, come up to the board. Here's a pen. We're going to play." It was like a noughts and crosses type.
I'm
game,
scared already.
Somehow involved French, right? So I was like, "All right, okay." And so I drew like a 3x3 grid on the board, and then turned around, and the teacher turned the overhead projector on, which already had a grid that she'd made up with all pictures, like it was all neatly drawn, had pictures and stuff on it, and it just just made mine look really shit, and everyone burst out laughing. And that is funny. Like, clearly that is funny, but at the time I was like, "Oh no, I'm such an idiot."
It's little things, isn't it? Like the one that sticks for me was I never liked slide tackling in football. Never liked it.
Oh, I
I
loved
thought
it.
the idea
I
of it
loved
was
it.
Even now,
horrible.
scared
Yeah,
of it.
like it's just I'm scared to slide tackle when I was a kid, and I just remember once thinking that right, that kid's got the ball. I'm going to do it. I'm going to slide tackle. I'm actually going to get my confidence up, and I'm going to slide tackle him. So I went in for the slide tackle, and this isn't how it happened, but it felt like I'd closed my eyes, gone for the slide tackle, opened it, and I was about 5 yards away from the kid. I just did it completely nowhere near him, and everyone stopped and laughed. And I sort of just got back up to my feet and just carried on playing football. I often think about that. I really went for it, and that's probably why I never slide tackled ever again, because I was completely.
I suppose it's one of those things in your head you're thinking like, I need to really commit to this.
Yeah,
because I don't want to
you've
look
got to
stupid.
commit to it.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, it's exactly that. You commit to it, and you're nowhere near. James has got his ones are too dark to tell.
No, I've got. I mean, I just remember one of the ones where this was again in primary school.
One of the ones.
No, there's many. There's too many of these.
One of the ones.
I was in I think it was like year 6 or whatever of primary school, and there was the girls were out there playing netball, and I thought I'd be really cool if while they were playing it, I like ran in and grabbed the ball as somebody threw it, and I grabbed it, and I thought I'm going to chuck it in the net, like from here, and everyone's going to think I'm really cool.
So while they were playing their game?
Yeah, and then I chucked it, and it went on the roof. Which was awful.
And then you had to be like, no, I was going to do something less disruptive, but still quite annoying.
People weren't happy.
But when it came to school disco time, James had a million offers.
The way you do that is the ball comes to you because someone dropped it or something, then you chuck it in. Right.
Yeah.
Instead, what you've done is run
did
on,
an
ruin
interception.
someone's game, and lob the ball on the roof.
I know I did an interception, but it went wrong.
Man.
Oh God, I'd pay to see that. Sorry, we'll talk.
No,
about video
I've
games
got
at
one
some
more,
point.
which is probably my most embarrassing story from school, but I think I've said it before on the
We
pod
will
already.
talk about video games at some point. I'm so sorry, everyone. We will get there. 36 minutes in.
It's
This is
fine.
mental.
Yeah, okay. So my one, and this is if people say like, "What's your most embarrassing story?" It would be this, and also depends on the kind of company I'm in to tell it. But I might as well tell it on the pod. What year was I in? I was in lower school, so I think I was probably like year 7 or year 8.
Right.
I was in. I don't know if it's like an RE, religious studies, or some other thing that was like, just talking about anything really.
Oh,
anyway.
you've told us this story. I
Yeah.
think. Is
Well,
this
I know.
the suggestions in a
Yeah.
house? Okay.
So anyway, teacher got the whole class in a big old circle and said, "Okay, everyone get a bit of paper and on it write write the thing you're most scared of." So I wrote my thing down.
Bonus show material.
Yeah, no, fuck it. I was like, I wrote my thing down, folded it up, and then everyone put it in like a bucket and whatnot, and and we went around the room. Everyone grabbed a random bit of paper and read it out, and the first person read one out. Obviously, these are all anonymous, and it was things like sleeping in for school. And I was like, that's a bit not really that scary, is it? Sleeping in school. Next person read theirs out. Was like, oh, it's forgetting to do my homework, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I think I might have made a mistake here. I think I might have misjudged what the teacher meant, and there was others, like it was like talking in front of the class, tripping up in front of other people, and then it got to Michael Copping, who read out mine. Which was, and what I wrote down, the thing that scared me most was, it's terrorists coming and shooting all the kids. That's what, because they said, what's the scariest thing you can think of? And I didn't think school related.
That is scary.
Yeah, I was like,
very
that would be scary if terrorists ever shot all the kids.
Yep.
So,
what happened? What was the reaction?
I mean, I went incredibly red. I'm not sure if people knew. It wasn't like revealed it was me. I probably from the sight of my face, it was maybe obvious. But the room kind of went silent, and there was some laughter after that, and then we moved on. But yeah.
Okay.
Well, even now, just feel a bit.
I don't think you should carry any shame for that, because the whole purpose of the exercise was it's anonymous, so we can really dig deep here. And everyone else is fucking cowards.
I dug
and they've
real
just
deep.
gone for basic, boring stuff.
Yeah.
I think.
Why are you attacking them? Why are we suddenly attacking these other kids in the class?
Because
I got to
clearly
the heart
understood the
of the
assignment.
issue.
They made Matt feel bad, and I'm not having it.
I've got
No,
a feeling
I made
Sean
me feel
did the
bad.
same thing. Exactly the same thing.
I think Matt understood the assignment. No one else did.
Yeah.
That's my
Ooh,
stance.
late for my homework. Forget it. That's not scary. I'll show you scary.
Yeah, exactly.
You really have watched too much Taskmaster, surely. You got to think outside the box, baby. Right. Next.
Yes, anyway,
feedback,
last bit of feedback, Mr. Potato Head. Hi, guys. I just wanted to say thanks for all you do. Listen to your show is a highlight of my week. I recently subbed to the Patreon and got a glimpse of the things you dealt with over the years, which gave me a new appreciation towards your commitment to putting out a podcast of such quality, consistency, and hilarity every single week. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, why
Appreciate
do we
you,
do this every
Dave.
fucking week? It's nuts.
I don't.
Well, some of us do.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm like. If you didn't have like a set schedule, you never get hold of me. So
Also, if I didn't have this, I'd have zero social life.
I
Just be
still
me
remember,
sitting
and
in
this
my room.
isn't like this isn't a dig or anything, Dave, because I think it was genuinely a sound bit of management from you.
Ew,
Because I
okay.
remember in the Joypod days, because I can be a pain in the arse getting back to people, and I remember Dave just one day just messaging me like, "What is the best way of getting hold of you?"
Did I? I don't remember.
He's like, "Is it email? Is it WhatsApp? Like what do I?"
What's the quickest way?
Yeah.
I tell you why, because that was me just freak. Like I constantly, when I think about this show, and it's been relevant because we have had only Ellie and Pete on. I'm constantly going, no one wants to hear from fucking me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can imagine them
Yeah.
like checking their phone and getting a DM and just going, "Oh fuck off," you know what I mean?
That's it, that it was just me being unreliable.
Right,
'Cause I
right,
was even
right.
worse then than I am now.
But that would not be a reflection of you. That would be me going, this guy just doesn't want to fucking get a message from me. Like that's the one. Yeah, and also I'm before you you judging me. Yes, I'm aware that that's wrapped up in ego as well because not everyone's thinking about me all the time, but in my head they are. Anyway, if you
That's
get a
it for
message
feedback.
from me asking you to come on the show, please do not think I'm a cunt.
That's an edit.
Is that it for feedback?
Yes, go to tcgs.co/dear TCGS. Leave your feedback.
Oh my god, the newsman's back in town,
Woof.
and he's foaming at the gums. The fella,
Newsman.
look at him. Look,
He was absolutely
He's loving
buzzing when we realised he could remove a story.
Yeah. It's like, oh god, news.
That was so
I
good. I
understand
was well
why
happy
that
about
would
that.
be removed though, because it's still a
It's
thing.
not.
that
It's a
happened today, isn't it?
non-story
It was a
now, so it's
non-story.
fine.
Yeah.
There was part of me that was. This is sorry for those of you
Yeah.
that don't know. This was about the fact that it was announced today or reported today that Game were going to stop selling video games, and then they come out and said, "No, we're not going to stop. That's false." But honestly, when it was what we believed that first story, I was thinking, "Oh, here's another 10 minutes of us going, well, Game were bad, weren't they? Like we've done this. We've done this over and over again." Okay, James Farley.
So yeah, I mean, I guess we should probably start with the Nintendo Direct because there was a lot. It was quite long, wasn't it? It was like 45 minutes, was it? I think?
40 minutes, yeah.
40 minutes. I think.
40 minutes, yeah. It was pretty long, and I mean,
Not
I
very
don't think-
direct, is it?
Dang! That's a great line.
Theft.
Just came up with that.
Don't
Brilliant.
think we're going to go through every single game because there was a lot
Well,
of rubbish.
I
there
know
as
we're not
well.
going to, but this is one of the few times I'm like, I wouldn't mind if we did because I thought it was generally pretty good. Apart from there's like the latter, maybe a third.
Right, I'll
there's
tell
one
you
bit.
what.
But generally, it was an excellent.
I thought
excellent
it was
show.
okay. I
Okay, here's
thought
what
it
I'll
was
do.
okay.
I think it was.
I think
I think it was really good, but I think expectations were.
very
That's
low.
it.
Unless
I
you're
think
James Farley.
expectations were so low that
Yeah.
it passed the test. But I don't. Yeah, I mean, I think some people are over egging it a little bit. But let's go through it. Let's go through it, shall we?
Okay, so the first thing I showed off was the Mario and Luigi Brothership, which is coming on the 7th of November, which is
Which
our
I was
birthday.
very
David.
excited about because
Yeah.
the Mario and Luigi games are usually a lot of fun, even though they are turn-based. They have their own unique way of doing it. I don't know if it is unique actually. I don't play many turn-based games, but it feels like it's a lot more active than just pressing a menu and
Yeah, there's like
pressing
timed
OK.
button prompts and little bits of.
Am I the
action
only
is-
one that
action
fucking
is a
hates
strong
the
word,
art
but-
style?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan, especially like after
thought it was
playing
fine.
Thousand Year Door, which looks incredible. Like it still looks so good, and then you see this and you're like, I'm not a huge fan of this art style. But
It
Yeah,
doesn't offend
it's-
me. I think it's lost some of that Mario magic. It just seems like it could be anything really.
It reminds me of like when they first started doing cartoon graphics but in 3D before they realized that
Right.
actually making that stuff look 2D is the way forward.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this, it's like playing the first Simpsons game and you're going, well, it sort of looks like the Simpsons, but because it's 3D, it really doesn't a lot of the time. And that's what this Mario game looks like. It looks like it looks very strange. I'm assuming that this is not an in-house. This is one of
Well-
those games that they ship off to a
This
Well,
is
this
the
is
interesting
developed.
question.
Yeah, go on.
Because
We
the
don't
thing
know.
is so Alpha Dream used to make these Mario and Luigi games, and they don't exist anymore. And so
Right.
people have been saying to Nintendo, like, so who's making this?
Yeah.
And they won't say, apart from they just say some people that did the first game are involved in this, but that's all
Yeah.
we're saying, basically.
It
it's
So
feels
not-
like
it's
at
not
some
a-
point there was a
Yeah.
change at Nintendo where they were like, we don't want people to know who's making stuff, and it's just Nintendo, and that's it. But we've had too many years of knowing that they farm some of this stuff out
Yeah.
to know
And we've
that
had
it's
too
not
many
just
shit
Nintendo. And
games
yeah,
under the Nintendo
yeah.
banner. We know there's a certain quality that you expect from a Nintendo game, right? And some of these games like Mario Strikers and Mario Golf, like they're clearly not to that standard.
Well, it's
So
it's
we
like
need to know going in whether it's going to be good or not.
it's like the A and B team kind of thing, isn't it? And like,
Yeah.
I mean, this whole direct was full of B team stuff, basically. To me, like it's stuff that I'm interested in. I still like to play, but it's not like the top tier like Nintendo stuff.
No,
like
no, you're right. Yeah.
And
But,
you
you
know,
know-
and the reason for that is obvious. Like
Yeah.
presumably, A teams are all working on Switch 2 stuff. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah.
But the only negative thing I could say about the trailer here is that it looked. I didn't like the art style, and that's fine. You know, the game could end up being really good. Who knows? But yeah, the art style was a bit off the mark for me.
Then after that, we had the Nintendo World Championships NES edition. So they're
I love the
That's-
idea of this.
Same.
So do you
this
want to
is-
explain what this is?
I mean, it looks a bit like NES Remix, doesn't it? Like, as
Yes.
in, like you're basically taking on small tasks within like a select like NES games, and then the results are getting uploaded to like high score tables and stuff like that. And it's coming out on the 18th of July, so it's pretty soon actually. And yeah,
Full price, is it?
no, it's 25 quid. So I don't know if that's.
Oh, that's
like-
brilliant then. So along with speed challenges that you can, that they've set specifically for each game, the full game's in it, I think, for each of the games that's in it, and you can speed run from start to finish. So it sort of caters for all sorts of speed runners and high score things. And there is one thing, as shit as Nintendo Online is, and playing games online with the Switch, it is generally poor, right? Apart from, say, Splatoon. But even that has its weird sort of quirks.
And Mario Kart's all right. It's not too bad.
Mario Kart's
works.
okay, but the lobby system sucks, and it's not quick enough to get you in and out of races. People coming up saying I have no keyboard constantly, all that sort of shit. I'm thinking like when we tried to play Mario Party Live, online, or when we try and play, they didn't they even release a. There was a Mario multiplayer game that we tried, and it just wouldn't even connect. Like, it was just a mess.
Was
The
that
one
Mario
thing
Maker
they do
2?
get right, yeah, I think it
We
might
tried
have been
to play
actually.
that.
Yeah,
We tried to play it together. I'm pretty sure it just didn't.
yeah,
work.
it just didn't work. The scoreboard stuff they've done in different games has always been brilliant. Like, it's always been really quick to find where you are, really quick to sort of compare your scores and stuff. So for a game like this, I can see this being a lot of fun actually. But it does need a lot of people to buy it, and you and your mates need to buy it really to.
But I think at that
compete
price
against each
point,
other.
I think they understand that that's why it is what it is. But it looks
Yeah, I
good.
think it's a good shout. This, yeah.
I mean, I was always hoping that they bring like those remix ones out again because they were really good, like on 3DS and on Wii U. That I don't,
Yeah.
obviously nobody played them, but this is probably better than nothing.
And the idea is this is NES edition. It could be SNES. It could be
Yeah.
GameCube.
That's probably the idea.
GBA,
Interesting, yeah.
Then next we have Fairy Tale 2. Can I move on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Fantasian Neo Dimension. Can we
Yeah,
also
again,
move on?
loved the first part. Put 60 hours into part 1 on Apple Arcade. Loved it. Didn't actually find time to play part 2. I assume it's just both of them in one handy package. And I
quite
would like
excited
to
about
go
this
back.
'cause I never got around to playing it on Apple Arcade, and it's like because Apple Arcade has now gone through that thing of like where it was once this fertile ground for loads of really interesting mobile games, because it's now been sort of left to rot.
Yeah, and all
Now
the
it's
funding
like
got cut.
this prison from which the best games need to be sort of broken out, and so yeah, very happy that Fantasian's getting released elsewhere now.
Yeah, I love this. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'll necessarily buy it. I mean, like I said, I didn't even find time for part 2 on Apple Arcade, but really glad more people can play it 'cause it's brilliant.
Then we had Basketball for Switch Sports, which is coming this summer.
It's so the timing is so weird, David. As you mentioned, we literally talked about Switch Sports last week from nowhere, and this got announced.
Yeah, I can't. It's just what a weird. I don't know. I'm surprised, but then when you load up they've clearly had this plan for a long time, because when you we load it up at the weekend, you can literally see the basketball court there. So
Right. What other things can you see?
That's it.
Okay.
That's the only space left. I can't see them putting any more effort into that game.
Do you reckon with the Switch 2 we're going to get better Joy-Cons in terms of like, things like gyro and stuff, so that they could probably do something that was closer to Wii Sports? Or it just doesn't
probably
matter?
not. I think they would have seen Switch Sports not selling particularly well, which I assume it didn't, because they weren't crowing about how good it was doing. And probably thought, well, maybe that side of things is slowly drifting away, and that's not how people want to play games.
Yeah, like it didn't sell the way Wii Sports did, but then it also hasn't really mattered.
No, but
Wii
nothing works.
Sports was bundled as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
as of 31st of March, it sold 13.11 million copies.
Okay.
Switch Sports did.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'll shut up then, because that is insane.
Yeah.
That is insane.
But that's the thing. If you've got have they got over 100 million like units out there now, like Switches?
I mean, they must do.
Because it becomes easier and easier, doesn't it? I guess, to make those sorts of numbers. If you've got
Wow,
that kind of
that's
install base.
really surprising to me, and just shows how closed off I am to the. That's mental. That I never knew it sold. If I'd have guessed, I would have said maximum 2 million, 13 million units. That's.
But I suppose it was sort of destined to do something like that just on reputation alone, right? Like
right.
The fact that basically everyone said, yeah, it's not as good, wasn't even a factor for so many people buying.
And also, people don't read that stuff. People that buy these games, they're not looking at what IGN think about it, or yeah, it's crazy. Okay, all right, yeah, I'm fucking well out of touch these days, and I Jesus Christ.
Well, I just searched and saw numbers, and there's a Reddit post entitled "Switch Sports the most silent best-selling game," and this person's like, "It shocked me. It's amongst the top 20 best-selling Nintendo Switch games because no one I knew played it, no one talked about it. It seemed to be like just the flopped successor to Wii Sports. But yeah, no one seemed to talk about it. But it's clearly, as James said, done well enough.
Did it sell
given the
better
amount of
than Wii
consoles?
Sports U?
But I would love that, James, if they did, yes, if they did put more effort into, the gyros and stuff for potentially a real true successor to Wii Sports. But it feels like they're probably not. But
13 million is loads, but could it have sold fucking 50 million if the controller's been up to it and the game had been a bit better? Basketball, anyone bothered?
Probably not. I love golf and didn't update for that.
Yeah, we've been playing a lot of Switch Sports again this weekend, and the kids were excited. Well, I showed them the direct, and they were excited about basketball coming, so we'll end up playing it. Yeah. I mean, it is a nonsense. The game is a nonsense. Like when you compare it to the, as we've said time and time again, when you compare it to Wii Sports, where it was a game that felt like you had ultimate control over everything you were doing. Switch Sports, you do not have that control. You just don't have it. But the kids don't care. They're just playing bowling and enjoying it. They don't. They're not going, well, this isn't technically as good as the one on the Wii. I don't give a shit. So we'll end up playing that, I'm sure. No date though. It just said summer, didn't it?
Yeah,
so
summer.
It was a bit annoying. Yep. Okay.
Then we had Mio Memories in Orbit.
Yeah, this looked really nice.
I did look nice, actually.
In the title, this looked really nice. I think you at the time, David, said you said it looked great.
Yeah, this is my favourite thing of the show. Was it?
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was.
Is this another Metroidvania kind of game?
No, we don't know. We said at the time it looks like a Metroidvania, but I'm not, going back and watching it, I'm not necessarily convinced, because throughout the whole trailer, you're moving left to right. There's no moving the other way.
Yeah.
It all seems to be you either moving left or right or going up or whatever. So it could be more of a linear game. But my word, that visually it looks stunning. But this is coming to everything, right? This isn't just coming to. I don't think this is just coming to Switch.
Yeah,
I think it
is coming to everything.
Even
Xbox One.
I've got. It's the sort of game that I want to play on a big screen with like really, really crisp visuals. So
plus, maybe I'm being unfair, but it did look a bit framey in this trailer. So...
Yeah.
Okay. Next, there's this Disney Illusion Island update which is out now. Have you gone back to that, David? Have you tried?
I have. I loaded it up. I just could not wrap my head around how you even get to the new content. I loaded it up, and one of them was like, "Come down here." there's a what's he say? It said like, come down here. There's some speed run courses, and I'm like, is this new or was this just like post credit stuff that I hadn't come across before? And then it said, "Oh, now you need to go over here," and I was like, "Ah, I can't be bothered." So I didn't.
Well, apparently the new stuff is mystery themed. Also, Ben's posted in the chat. So Mio Memories in Orbit is a Metroidvania apparently, as described by the dev.
Okay, cool. I was wrong then, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll
Dave.
see. We'll see what it's like. Yeah, but no, the new content for Disney Illusion Island. What I wanted is to load it up and go. "Hey, do you want to go into the main game or do you want this DLC and go into that?" Like I want it separate. I don't want it just having to struggle to find it in the main game. So I sort of lost interest by the time that I'd booted it up.
It's weird because, like, you see, I told Asher about this because he really liked Illusion Island and he was like really into it. And then I told him about it and showed him the trailer and he was just like, "No, all right."
Yeah.
He had no interest in going back to it.
Well,
Yeah,
we moved on.
once you're done, aren't you? Really? Yeah.
Then we had Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Yeah,
It's an
no,
open
I think
world
we can
adventure.
probably skip a few of these.
I mean, this one just looked like a Animal Crossing rip-off, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Like up to the point where they're showing like all the Hello Kitty characters at the edge of an island at the end of it. It's just really weird. It just seemed really odd, this game. Okay.
And then the next one,
Tunes.
Looney Tunes, that looks exactly like that Mario, like Super Strikers and
It
other.
looks better than that. It looks better than that. It's probably going to be rubbish, but I think the kids will be interested, so I'll see what the reviews are like because I wouldn't mind playing
I wonder
it. if
how
it
many
wasn't
of
rubbish.
just any generation, well, our generation, yes, but like Harry's age and Charlie's age, even know what Looney Tunes even is.
They had a chance to bring it back with Space Jam 2,
Oh yeah,
Space
And it
Bam,
was
and
bad.
they did not
Yeah.
because that was
But
a
it's weird
terrible
because even
movie.
when we were kids, I mean, there was Animaniacs and stuff, and
Tiny Toon
Toons.
Adventures.
and Tasmania
Yeah,
and
But then, like, I only watched those because of going to IKEA and going to the little kids' cinema bit, and they just used to play loads of old Looney Tunes stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That was my
I
sort
don't
of
remember that.
getting into
They,
that. Oh, it was
they
great.
didn't. I'll tell you why we don't remember that, Matt. Because when we were growing up, we just got taken to the tip.
Yeah,
to
it was
Ikea,
different. It was
mate.
different down south. Yeah,
That sounded lovely.
Similar quality furniture there.
Wait, take that,
Oh.
IKEA.
political.
It's a shame because we just signed a sponsorship deal with them.
Yeah, and I've got my whole.
I'm just reminded the other day of when we were at Play Radio and do you remember?
I do
And
remember.
Tommy Boyd come into the studio with a load of Red Bull cola. Red Bull were trying to do a cola drink.
I remember that.
And
it
they
was
come in with
nasty.
loads of cans of Red Bull cola. And we went live on air, and Michael had a swig of it and went, "Oh, this is absolutely disgusting. I'm drinking this Red Bull cola. It's disgusting." We looked over, and Tommy Boyd is doing the fingers across the neck thing because they were a big sponsor of the radio station at the time.
And they wonder
times.
why that station went down.
Yeah, it did. Well, it was actually due to I can't swear.
Of Michael Fox. Yeah.
Allegedly.
Okay.
What else
Okay,
do we
then
have?
we had an Among Us update. I mean,
Okay,
Don't-
fine.
Yeah,
yeah,
next.
that-
And then
Yeah,
for Magia, don't know, don't
Farm-
care.
Yeah,
Next.
Farm Magia, which looks, I mean, a focus group of Pokemon ripoff, and that's what you can't come with. What if Pokemon
we're farming.
and a
grow
farming
the
simulator?
Pokemon?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just absolutely dreadful.
Donkey Kong Country
Returns?
returns. Yeah.
Wasn't Donkey Kong Country Returns bad though?
No,
Or
it was.
it a
It was very.
remake of the original?
I remember hearing it was very difficult. Like it was a lot more
Yes.
difficult than people were comfortable with.
Are you
And-
thinking about Tropical Freeze?
No,
That
because
was-
Tropical
that's
Freeze
right.
they
Right,
made
right.
easier compared with this. It was.
Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, as a fan of Donkey Kong Country games, I don't know it as a good one, particularly
Mhm.
good one. So
Mhm.
it's not one that I'll be rushing out to get.
Then we had the Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D, Dragon Quest 1 and 2.
God,
Can
is
we move
anyone
on?
else
I just
thinking
remembered
that
that Donkey Kong. When we because obviously we didn't stream this. We were just in the WhatsApp group when it was on, and
Yeah.
we sort of commented on the fact that he referred to there being like 80 appealing levels.
Yeah.
I only realised upon rewatching it, bananas peeling.
Yeah,
appealing.
yeah, we knew
No.
that.
Ape Ealing, Ape.
No, that wasn't a pun they used then.
No, he sort of said like appealing.
Yeah, but yeah,
Peeling,
and
yeah.
Oh, I thought
I-
you were saying ape Ealing, I thought he just got the tone
I mean,
of that,
No.
that
it
thing
works.
wrong.
You know,
Yeah, I
it's-
mean,
I
he
genuinely-
said
I just
appealing, and
didn't-
there was another one before that. It was
The first
it was
time I heard
brilliant.
it, I just did not hear that in the delivery at all. I was like, why did you describe the levels as appealing? That's weird.
Yeah, no, I remember you saying that, and I was going, "It's a pun, it's a pun." I was just getting the wrong pun.
It's been like at the start of this show when I made 2 references to like loving hearing like behind the scenes stuff when like it's a really tightly edited show, which was leading into Sean's mistake, and neither of you like picked up on it.
Because you just come out with this shit constantly.
Nah,
It's not
you
quite
will
nice.
kick yourself when you hear this tomorrow.
Okay.
Is anyone else feeling that this Nintendo Direct wasn't actually?
It
that
was
good
great.
after
Let's go on to the
It
next
was- It was
game.
good. We're just going through
No,
all the stuff we
honestly.
weren't
Look,
talking
the
about.
next
It
one
was
is
brilliant.
an absolute banger. 'Cause
Exactly.
We had
What,
Funko Fusion,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is coming on
So-
13th of September. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
looks so incredibly shit. Let's move on.
Yep.
The new Demper Man? Anyone?
I don't know
free.
what the Demper Man is.
It's going to be
Demper
free.
You don't know
Wasn't
Demper
it-
Man?
Wasn't it a 3DS
No.
game? Or
So I haven't
DS
heard
game?
of the Demper
You
Man.
haven't a Demper Man?
Is that where you chuck salt over your shoulder? If you say Demper Man 3 times, he comes up behind you in the mirror.
That's Candyman.
Oh, that's
let's,
Candyman. Okay. You get mixed
Then we
up.
had Metal Slug Attack Reloaded. That's out now.
I'm up for
I
this.
think you like Metal Slug, David. It's-
I do, but it's not a Metal Slug game, is it?
Yeah, it's one of the various. Look, we own the sprites, and
Oh,
everyone
okay,
really
forget
likes the
Forget it.
sprites from Metal Slug. So let's make something else with them.
Well, I
mean,
do
look,
like the fact
fine.
it's called Metal Slug Attack Reloaded. Reloaded is a great name, and I think any game that has Reloaded in title is probably a 10 out of 10 for me.
Absolutely
Right,
banger. The
okay,
Matrix,
that's,
for example.
Apart from that one, thinking more games available on Metacrest. Let's move on.
Okay, Darkest
do
Dungeon
those.
2. No.
I'm regularly annoyed at myself for never having played any of these because I gather I would really like them. They're just meant to be really stressful, sort of dungeon crawling RPGs where you like just bad shit happens constantly and you're like managing your crew's like mental state as well as anything else.
I can barely manage my own, Sean. Why am I going to play a
It's
game?
true, yeah. Bit like doing the podcast. But no, it's meant to be really good.
Why did we think this was a good direct? What's
Look.
going on? Like, were we on drugs?
No, okay, like
Some
No, 'cause
first
there are-
party
Yeah.
Nintendo stuff
There's
when we
about-
expected none.
Exactly.
At
There's
all.
about 3 or 4 things here which are good and that are
Okay.
actually coming out. You know, it's
Okay.
like we know are definitely coming out
Yeah.
reasonably
Alright.
soon.
Like
so
the
that's
next
thing.
lot.
So I mean, obviously there was the Nintendo Switch Online stuff. We got Zelda.
Oh,
A Link
come on,
to
we've
the
got
Past,
to do a
Four
Source Swords stream. That's got to happen,
Okay.
surely.
I
Definitely.
guarantee the online won't work. We'll try it, but I guarantee
Yeah, I
it
wanted to
won't
ask about that, considering another one of these titles. But what on titles,
work.
James?
And then also, I mean, yeah, they got the like Perfect Dark is coming, and also is out
It's
now.
already out.
Turok Dinosaur. But this is really weird. This
And
Nintendo
Turok, yeah.
64 Mature Collection thing.
Right,
It's
we'll talk
really
about it in a
odd.
bit. We'll talk about it in a bit because
Okay.
I want to talk about this in what you've been
It's
playing because I played
weird.
both Perfect Dark and Turok. So
Okay.
Oh, nice.
We should say as well, Metroid Zero Mission's an absolute banger. So
It
if you've
is.
not
It
played
is one of the
like,
best.
yeah,
It is very, very good.
So yeah, if we want to play this and actually play it online, like the actual connecting, I'm sure we tried before. I mean, it was just kind of kept falling apart. What game was it we tried to play together and it kept?
Mario Kart 64, I think.
Was it?
Was that it?
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't remember doing that.
We'll have
And
to-
obviously we'd
we'll
have to
give it a
use
test.
something else, Discord, to actually chat. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. No, it's just like if it works, Four Swords is like quite an important inclusion because to my knowledge there hasn't been a good way of playing this multiplayer since the original
Yeah.
release, where you needed 4 Game Boys or 4 Game Boy Advance.
Yeah,
aren't
you
they?
needed
Or-
4 Game Boys, 4 copies of the game. Did you need, or was
And
it
a
just off the
GameCube.
one?
I think it was just one oh no. Yeah, was it? Yeah, it would be 4 copies of the game, wouldn't it?
So yeah, I just remember all I heard was a bunch of journalists saying, "No, this is incredible," and then they're just like, no one could play it. Like it was really frustrating. So, yeah, we'll try that.
yeah.
for sure.
Sorry, Ben just mentioned in the chat Mario Party. That's what we played, and it
Oh,
crit
yeah.
on us twice, didn't it?
Yeah.
Lost the Patreon stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mario Party.
Yeah, but that was different though. Mario Party was the actual Switch game. We're talking about
Yeah.
doing
Oh yeah,
the,
good point. Yeah,
emulated
the connection
stuff.
through. Yeah.
My word.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay. If we move on, then we got Phantom Brave, the Lost Hero. I don't know what that is. Does anyone remember? I
Skim.
don't remember.
Skim it.
Okay. Then Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, and then Ben.
What a terrible direction.
I'm starting to believe
What a
David now.
dreadful
This has changed my
Nintendo
life.
Direct.
Not for us, obviously, but people were well into this Marvel vs. Capcom stuff. So
Yeah, they were. And also, but then the next one, Super Mario Party Jamboree, which is coming
This
out on
looks
17th of October.
genuinely great.
this looks alright.
Does it?
Yeah,
I mean, it looks like another Mario Party. Like, yeah, it could probably be
Yeah, but-
DLC for whatever the last one was. But
I promise you, I swear to God, I'm not lying, and I didn't feed this to him. Harry was watching this direct and just went, "Do we really need another Mario Party for the Switch?" And I was like, "Yes, mate. No, exactly. You're absolutely right."
Actually, Ash has said something similar as well. That is like another one, and it's like
We had Super Mario Party, which was brilliant. Then we had Mario Party Superstars, which was a rehash of all the old stuff. And then Jamboree just sounds like it's just weird. Like
It just has like different modes. It's got classic old level like environments, hasn't it?
it's got like
the
it's got
last
like
one
a,
had classic old levels.
yeah.
see, they
This
did
one's
one
got
that
like
was
a
new,
battle royale
then they did a,
kind of
then
thing.
they did a
Yeah.
rehash. Now they're doing one that's a bit new and a bit of
Bit
a
new,
rehash.
but also a rehash.
Yeah, we're
But
like
they
a
did
20
show
player
any of
mode.
the-
Because
They didn't show any of the
the
2v2 mode like that they had in Super Mario Party. Like, didn't show any of those levels where you can pick where you go per square rather than just going in a normal like board game setting. I don't know, man.
I mean, you can see why they've done it though, because these Mario Party games sell
Money.
like crazy. Like,
Yep,
I mean, I'm
yep,
sure
yep.
I read somewhere the other day where they were saying it sold more than like Tears of the Kingdom or something, like Mario Party. It's like it's crazy, like popular.
Yeah, for sure.
Then we had the big thing, which was a new Zelda game, which is Echoes of Wisdom.
And this looks brilliant.
Yeah,
This
really
looks
good.
brilliant. Except for we've got to fucking play as Zelda now. What's going on here, boys?
What?
What's going on
We've always
here?
played as Zelda, haven't we? Like, what's the difference? Yeah, this was such a surprise, and it looks absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it does look.
great.
When was the last time they did a brand new 2D Zelda game?
there was A Link Between
Or,
Worlds,
you know,
which
Yeah,
was
that's
on.
right.
That was a 3DS,
3DS.
game, which was very, very good.
Really
Like it was
good.
one of the best, games on the 3DS.
No, I'm very much looking for. This was the game coming out of it. I was going, yeah, I'm definitely going to play this regardless of.
Oh,
anything.
yes.
This
It's
is-
been
I'm
interesting,
definitely
like,
buying
you
this.
know, people saying like, oh, isn't it a bit weird that so you play as Zelda and yeah, she has this power where basically any object you see in the world you can like store it and then create clones of it to like solve puzzles.
That's
and
right,
navigate and
yeah.
stuff like that. People are like, yeah, but why can't she make a sword and pick up a sword? It's like, well, because then it might as well be any other Zelda game. The whole point is, yeah, she's not Link and she's not going to
Yeah.
do any of the stuff
It's a
that Link
different
Yeah,
does.
That's
she's
That's why
not
it's
doing the
interesting.
link. She does things her way. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I was definitely getting a lot of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom vibes from the fact that you can, generate not anything, but you can use your creativity to seemingly navigate the environment, solve puzzles, expand the story, go through the story. So that seemed really exciting. Having that kind of creativity. It won't be the same levels, but some level of creativity in this kind of 2D style is really, really exciting.
I mean, I'm definitely just going to use tables for the entire game.
For every
I'm just gonna
boss,
let-
there will
yeah,
be someone
so,
saying, "I
like,
completed the whole
how
game using just tables."
The
Tables.
Can't know how to hear any more about tables. But I think that seeing how people break this game is going to be fascinating as well.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Speedruns are going to be very interesting.
yeah.
So I mean, this was a great surprise, and I'm really looking forward to this. But then
Yeah,
next we hit back with Just
Well,
Dance.
and the fact it's also out 26th September. It's like not even long to
Yeah,
wait.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
brilliant. It's
Yeah,
not like
yeah.
2025
There'll
thing.
be some good games towards the end of this year. You know, there's some good games coming for sure.
Then we had Just Dance, and then that's another one of
Big one.
those. Then we had Lego Horizon Adventures. They showed that off. That's,
Oh god, it looked fucking dreadful on the Switch, though,
It does,
didn't
doesn't
it? It does not look good.
Also Stray, which also doesn't look very
Yeah,
good.
speaking of,
Stray looks
Um,
outrageously bad on the Switch, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even look like the same game. That is, that was
very
wild.
muddy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, just everything looks shit.
Well, the next one as well, that Lord of the Rings game, it looked like an old 360 title.
That Lord of the Rings game. I don't know what it is about that Lord of the Rings game, but it really rubs me up the wrong way.
It's got a proper stink about it, hasn't it?
It has. It looks terrible. It looks,
And because you look at it and you're like, oh, that's not like from the films. Like, fine, of course, it shouldn't be
But it just
necessarily,
looks really ugly.
but it does look really naff, doesn't it?
This is not Peter Jackson's vision.
it looks terrible. But anyway, then I mean, this was we had the Ace Attorney Investigations collection, which is like, I mean, for somebody like me that really likes these, it's one of they're the worst ones basically out of all of the Phoenix Wright games, but they're still pretty good. But one of them has never been released outside of Japan, so this means that now I think pretty much every single one of those games is now out on Switch or on all consoles, so that's good. And that's coming out soon as well. Then we had the 100-line Last Defense Academy. I don't know what that is.
Zero thoughts about
Okay.
that.
Romancing Saga 2: Revenge of the Seven. Is this that you played, Matt?
No.
I don't know why I thought that.
No, you're thinking about the Banner Saga.
That's the one. Yeah.
yeah.
Not. It's a
Banner
different
Saga's a good
saga.
one.
I know
Yeah,
you're into
different
sagas,
saga.
but yeah, it's a
There
different
were
one.
many different sagas available.
I mean,
Yeah.
I always get me sagas mixed up.
Yeah. And then finally, we had the Metroid Prime 4 Beyond reveal, which is coming in 2025, which I thought looked a bit ropey, but
Oh.
I'm really
thought it
glad
looked,
you
I
said
thought it looked
that.
dreadful.
I think
I've seen so many people giving it like, oh, hey, that looks a bit too good for the Switch. Hey,
don't
Switch
think
2
it
launch
is.
title, guys. And
I
I'm
was
like,
thinking
"You
that.
mental."
I was like, well, if this is genuinely Switch 2 footage, then we're in bigger trouble than we thought.
Exactly.
I mean, when I
Right,
saw
okay,
this,
forget the footage for a bit.
I can't.
Like, no, I mean, like visually, the Switch is really showing its age now, and things don't look great. But tonally, and the stuff you're doing or the stuff it showed off, I thought, fuck, this just looks bad. It just looks bad. Like it looks like the remake of
I thought
Of Metroid Prime.
Well,
I
that was it.
disliked the way it looked, but I just in no way did it suggest to me that this wasn't running on a regular.
Absolutely
Switch.
not.
Oh
yeah.
no,
It
yeah,
looked
it's
just
definitely
like
right.
that.
you know, but like when I first saw it, I wasn't sure if it was a remake or something new, and I think
That's-
that says
yeah.
everything. When I was excited for the first proper reveal of Metroid Prime 4, I thought I would know what I was looking at. Well, I was looking, I was like, well, so is this an older one? Are they bringing it back?
It's true.
And-
I agree with you, Matt. Like I seriously looked at that and thought, is this 2 or 3? Like, is
Yeah.
this the remake that they've been talking about?
It wasn't like, holy shit, Prime 4! It was
Because
like,
it didn't show. Because the thing is, as well, like with a character, like with a series like Metroid and a character like Samus, like her abilities, sort of that she has in most of the games, are kind of so well known that you could do a trailer for a new Metroid and be like, here's something slightly new, and everyone would be like, oh shit, that changes everything.
Yeah.
And yet there was, I didn't see anything about this.
There was one scene right where Samus was rolling through like one of the what was it, roller coaster bits when she's in her ball, like it was rolling, and the two monsters were fighting each other, like factions were fighting each other, and I think Nintendo thought that was cool, and I was like, but that was cool on the original Xbox when we saw it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like this
it's
that's not something you want to be
I'm
proud
not
of.
saying it looked as good as Brute Force, but it was, it was. It didn't look
No,
great.
like to be clear, like,
be great.
it's easy to throw shade at this trailer. Yeah, I'm sure this will be good. Right, I'm
No,
looking
why
forward to
though?
this.
Why?
Just cause, well, I fancy a new Metro. I like the Metroid Prime.
If this
one, although, to be
is
fair, I never
Retro
played.
making this, then it should be at least as good as as the Metroid Prime
It should be
trilogy, which
decent.
is a good trilogy.
It
Like,
was
it's a good
interesting
series
to
of games.
see that it's still got like the lock-on controls from the previous. Because I always saw that as like a concession to the GameCube controller.
Yeah, you've only got one. stick.
But
Yeah.
obviously, I mean, which is oversimplifying it. Obviously, it was Retro being like, no, these are more exploration games than they are.
Yeah, they're not
like,
first-person
FPSs.
shooters.
Yeah, and so it's interesting that they are very much sticking with that. Yeah, like I'm still keen, but yeah, this trailer did nothing other than, oh right, it is definitely real then.
But I think
don't-
this will
I don't
definitely be a
think-
a game that was released on both this and Switch 2 at launch. I reckon this probably come out whenever Switch 2 comes out, and it'll be like Switch 2 launch title. It's also for the 110, 125 million
Yeah, you're
Switch
probably
owners.
right.
But,
But as I
I'd be
said,
interested to see what it looks like.
visually was the least of my worries. The stuff they were showing, it looked like the game that I played at the start of this year, which was a remake
the
of a
Metroid
GameCube
Prime
title.
remake, yeah.
And like not this year, last year. I mean, sorry. The, look, I'm not saying it wasn't as bad as the Halo Infinite trailer, right?
Come on, it
But
was nowhere
that's-
near as bad
come
as
on.
that.
But that's, I'll tell you why it was nowhere near as bad as that.
It didn't have a
Because they
Craig moment.
showed more of the Halo Infinite gameplay footage.
Yeah,
that's
true.
what. If they'd have shown the same amount of this, I guarantee we'd be going, what, what is going on over there? It was not a good showing. Who knows? The game's out next year. Nintendo obviously see Metroid as a big game in their arsenal, and I'll be very surprised if they just ruined this after such a troubled development to bring out a game that's half
'cause
baked
this
would be a
is-
bad thing.
Yeah,
This
the
is
fact
the
is
game
Retro
we're
now.
getting after they restarted development. So
After they
isn't it?
restarted
So,
development.
yeah.
So
it's
who
Retro.
knows what it will come out like? But this was a very poor first showing, I thought.
But I mean, overall, I mean, a lot of people really like this this direct, and we liked it when we watched it because when we were talking about it in the WhatsApp, we generally liked
Yeah,
it.
I thought
Yeah,
it was
we did.
really
And I
Yeah,
think
interesting.
yeah.
the reason is because there was a lot of games shown here, but also there's a lot of stuff which is definitely coming out quite soon as well, which was the other sort of plus point from this. And so yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was mostly all like sort of B tier stuff, but it was still good B tier stuff as well. So there's still stuff coming. It's not like the end of the Wii U time when they
think,
spent
yeah, and
half
like
an hour
in
talking about one game.
BT and Nintendo is still much more of a known quantity than stuff we see on the other platforms, right? Like
Yeah.
BT
Yeah.
and Nintendo is still going to be pretty good.
And I think that new Zelda game just looks so
Yes.
good. I cannot wait for that.
Yeah.
So shall I move on to the next story because I can.
Please.
So there's been a whole thing with this guy or I don't know who it is, who's been leaking information about Nintendo. How do I pronounce this? Is it Pyro? I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it.
Pyro.
Pyro. Okay. So this person
Yeah, like
has
the
been
detective.
leaking. Sorry, that was good.
That
Bob.
weren't funny.
It was.
I
good.
decided not to do that joke. Okay? And it's me.
I
we're
had
talking
no
about here.
choice but to
I
laugh
liked
at
it.
It was an involuntary reaction.
So anyway, this person has got over 100,000 followers and has been like accurately leaking Nintendo Direct stuff for quite a long time. But then just before this Nintendo Direct, everyone was a bit sort of freaked out because there was no leaks from this, from this account. There was nothing coming out, and everyone was like, "What's going on? There's already a ton of leaks coming out at this time." And then some forum members discovered that the leaks had involved games that had appeared on Nintendo's store immediately after the Direct. And then this then led to the speculation that the information was coming from Nintendo's web backend, which meant this must be somebody that's working inside Nintendo who's like feeding this information to this contact. So Bloomberg contacted them and confirmed that the source was this person at Nintendo. And then after this all happened, the person just closed their account and then just went completely private and didn't want to share any information anymore at all. It's very strange. The
Makes
whole
sense.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care. Like, honestly, I saw this news coming out and I was like, I don't care. So I've not got much to say about this
leaking
one.
stuff, if you work at Nintendo, just seems like deeply thick behaviour, doesn't it? Like,
It does,
Especially
but
if
if
you
we
can be
were all
traced.
working for Nintendo, there's no way we wouldn't be putting stuff in the group
I
chat.
tell you
Absolutely
guys,
no
but you
way.
don't count. That's fine.
That's how it starts,
You know,
surely.
you're
Yeah.
real people. You
A
just
screenshot
internet
sent to IGN, it's game over.
I mean, David, you told me your uncle works for Nintendo. Yeah,
That is true.
Yeah,
There's
but
all
that's
sorts-
so
there's
that
all
was
sorts
of
just
intel.
that was you weren't supposed to put that out there, actually, James. I'm
Sorry.
annoyed by
But,
that.
but then it's like we always say,
is
isn't it? Like we do occasionally hear things, but half of it turns out to be fucking wrong anyway. So what's the point?
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, on to another story, which is that Sony has reportedly made cuts to its VR development, and there are now only 2 titles
Why are you
currently
laughing
planned.
at this?
Because it's ridiculous, isn't it? It's just so I don't know.
Yeah, but it still cuts. Like,
I know it's just no, it's not cuts in the sense of I'm sure this is people losing their jobs, which is terrible. But it's just the whole thing with PSVR 2, which is just a joke. It's just been a joke since probably a couple of weeks after it came out. It's terrible. So according to Android Central, there will be very few opportunities for VR development at Sony going forward, and there's only 2 of these things in the pipeline now, and they're still going ahead with this PC adapter release on the 7th of August, and yeah, I mean. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they released this thing. I really don't at this stage.
That's what's so strange, isn't it? It's like they could have just not done it, and it's so weird.
I think that they just got so far into the development before
Yeah,
realizing that
it
it
must
would
be
be a
that.
terrible idea that they might as well release it.
Yeah.
And I think this PC adapter thing is a way of them going.
Washing their
Doesn't
hands of
matter
it
now.
and-
We're
yeah,
done.
yeah,
They can
yeah.
play
You
their
can
PC
technically
games
still
if they
use
want.
it elsewhere.
Yeah.
So we don't
Software
really
is still
do
coming out
anything
for it.
anymore.
Yeah,
It's a shame because it is
really.
really nice hardware. Like, I really like using it on the couple of games that I've played on it, and it's just just a shame. I mean, what is also a shame is we're not even getting now like Quest ports. Like those sorts of things are sort of drying up as well because obviously there's no point. you know, because
Yeah.
there's not the user base there. And it's
Well,
just,
there'll be even less now that the PC adapter
yeah,
is out there. Let's just buy the games on that, isn't
it's
it?
crazy.
You're not slagging off the Quest port, so I bet you would love a Quest port now, wouldn't you?
I would, even if it's like 480p and all that kind of thing. I don't care. I'll play anything at this stage. It's
Even if it's
I
a
love
zombie
the-
shooter, like
I
all
love
the
the
other
idea.
zombie
Let's
shooters.
come on.
Okay.
I love the
Let's
idea
not
of
do that.
James secretly wanting a Quest 3, but knowing how unbearable I'll be if he gets.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
Anyway,
I mean,
Knowing
I'm
James, he
impressed-
bought one a year ago. Do you remember when he used to hide purchases from us?
when did I
When he
do that?
bought, when you bought the new 3DS, you didn't
yeah,
let
I
us
know.
know
Come on,
for
that was
about 6
years
months
ago.
that you bought one.
Really?
Yeah.
Did it?
Oh, I
I don't remember
remember.
that.
You kept it from us, and
I?
you went, and then you went. I tell you what, the new 3DS, the eye tracking's really good. And I went, how do you know that, James? I actually bought one at launch. I just didn't want you to know because everyone was taking the piss out of it.
That
And then
does
when you
sound like
said like
something that happened.
you bought like 4 Switches, and then Chen revealed that you bought 8. It was
I had 8. That's ridiculous. There's been about, I think there's about 7 actually we're on now, which is
Oh, right, so
ridiculous,
not
isn't
that
it?
ridiculous then.
Yeah.
Did you hear what you just said? Can you just repeat what you just said then? You went, it wasn't 8. That would be ridiculous. I bought 7 now, which is ridiculous.
I think it's 7. I can't remember. It's
Look, I'm convinced on the subject of that, like that James has bought and played Sonic Superstars. Because it was just strange. He's like, "I know, I'll wait for it to go cheap." It's like,
Look at that little face. Look at his little face.
it never does
I'll
go
wait
cheap.
until it's
This is the
socially
thing.
acceptable for me to say that I've bought and played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It never does go cheap. On like the eShop, like they had a discount and it
Never
was
does go cheap.
55
So
quid.
he's been watching.
And it's just like that was the discount. It's ridiculous.
Also, James genuinely benefited from Brexit. Do you know this?
No,
Because he used to buy shit and tell Chen that, well, once Brexit hits, it's going to be so much more expensive. So I'm going to
that was
buy
with
it
the
now.
Switch, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
invest
remember.
now.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
with the Switch and the iPad, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
and-
Labo,
true.
probably.
yeah, tons of Labo kits.
I wish I'd bought more Labo when it was a thing.
So do I. The
fucking get it
Labo build that we did was great.
Mm.
Can you not get them at all now?
You can
Or
download.
have you just
the-
not looked?
You can download the schematics if you've got the exact
Who's
right
doing that?
cardboard to print it on. and,
Yeah, who's
exactly
doing that?
right. It's just not. It's not happening.
Free delivery. Amazon. Labo. Toy-Con 2 robot kit. Why did I struggle to say that
Shit,
so
I've still
much?
got the robot kit. I never built. Fuck, where is that?
Yeah, so
That's a shame.
you wish you bought more. You've got more you haven't even used.
Yeah, fuck,
You're not
I've
James
got- I want
Farley.
the
So you
vehicle
can't get them
one.
anymore. It's 30 quid on Amazon, the robot
Which one?
kit.
Yeah, I've
Really?
already got the robot
Yeah.
one. doesn't
No,
count, so I've already
James.
got it.
No, I've already got it. It's back,
Really?
It's
Have they got
it's
the
back in the
vehicle
UK
one?
somewhere.
I want the
It's,
vehicle one.
yeah.
I'll have a look. No,
On back in the story, I'm just impressed that there's 2 games in development, frankly.
go on.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
Next story.
James, sell it and get a Quest 3, mate. We'll
I
have-
mean,
we'll
that's,
play
I was
golf.
thinking about it the other day. Actually, I was
Promise
thinking
I won't
about
make fun.
if I could get rid of it, I would probably at this stage. But yeah, getting rid of stuff here is probably more complicated. I haven't looked into it, but we'll find out.
What are you telling me? Like CX
based on
doesn't exist
stuff,
over
yeah.
there?
There's no CX. No, don't do the joke again, Matt.
I couldn't pronounce that name if I tried. I love the fact you said, it means sexy. I was like, yes, that was the.
Was the joke.
Anyway,
Talk about jokes we made in a WhatsApp group that no one can see. Let's move swiftly on, baby.
Beyond Good
Are
and Evil.
you busy googling things on
Labo
Amazon?
sets.
Yeah, in case. Let's move on, baby.
So, Beyond Good and Evil is having a 20th anniversary edition, which is coming out. I mean, the reason that I put this in here is because, okay, they're saying that they've added stuff into this that links with Beyond Good and Evil 2, which doesn't exist and will never exist.
No, because if you check the thread on X, they said it's still coming.
It's not.
Oh well.
It's never
Must be
going to
true
come
then.
out.
I mean,
Just saying. They said today it's coming. So I
don't
believe them.
I don't really see how a re-release of Beyond Good and Evil needs more narrative links to a sequel. Like it ends like clearly setting up a sequel, but then
Yeah.
what we've seen of the sequel appears to be so far removed from the first game that
I hated that trailer.
it's fucking yeah.
that they put out. It was
Whatever, man.
because I really loved the first game. It was so good, and then that trailer that came out about 10 years after they'd announced it was
Which
just like,
one? The parkour one, or the one where they're flying around and
the one with the swearing monkeys and stuff.
that's very monkeys.
Yeah.
I
Didn't
thought
like
the
that.
stuff flying around the city looked cool, but yeah, no idea how it translates into a fun video game.
Yeah, it's never coming
Well, I
out.
don't think Ubisoft did either.
Hey,
Speaking of something
Yeah,
else
no,
that's
yeah.
never
Sorry,
coming out.
a tweet today, 5 p.m. local time.
What segue, Matt? You fucking...
Sorry.
Can fucks my segue be a potential?
I was
episode?
gonna
That was a
like
really.
that.
That was going to be good as well, and you
Oh,
totally wrecked it. Thank
Sorry,
you.
go on. No, go on. What was the segue?
So I was saying, speaking of games that are never coming out, Hollow Knight Silksong is not in dev hell. So this is where a tester for the game has said it's not in dev hell, it is coming, and he just said that basically Team Cherry are not very good at they could do better communication, and just said this whole lengthy development cycle is completely normal and everything's going to be fine and it will come out one day.
alright,
I bet it is in dev hell. What about that?
I think they're lying.
I would. I mean, was the first one like a surprise hit, right?
Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
say
so-
it's a surprise hit.
So they've probably got loads of money, and now they're like, well, all the ideas we wanted to do first time, we now can do. So kind of not
Also,
surprised
we've
in
got
a way.
loads of money, so let's just party every night.
Yeah, take
I
your.
was thinking more that they'll just keep making the game they want to make, and that'll just take forever. It'll be like Valve time.
Okay.
Well, this is it, because like it's easy to sort of look at it and be like, well, you made loads of money, so just hire loads more people. But then with such a small team, that can really dilute things and the studio culture, etc., etc. So if they're just like, no, we're going to keep things really small and we're going to allow ourselves fucking 8 years to make it, so that we don't have to kill ourselves doing it in the process, fine. I'm all right with that.
Yeah, like that's the best option, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
Okay, last story. I mean, this has been diminishing returns, isn't it? I mean, this is the this is a shame.
Don't say that on your first one back in 4 weeks.
It's been nearly an hour
2
and a
weeks.
half. We're still on the
About-
news.
Yeah.
Do you know what I've been thinking about for the past 5 minutes?
What?
What was the game, the colourful Metroidvania game that you played this year? Ultra.
Ultros. Yeah.
Yeah, is that the soundtrack that you
That is
bought?
the vinyl soundtrack that I cannot play.
That's what I've been thinking about. How you position that in shot of
Yeah.
your camera, because that's all you can do with it. You
No, I
can't
put it up
listen
there
to
because
the
I want
music on the
to
vinyl.
look at it. But yeah, that is basically I've bought it as a piece of visual art
Just
rather
showing
than
it off.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, you could have just printed that out.
I've
I'm behind you with blue
bit of
tack.
A4, just pin it up. Bit of blue tack.
Yeah, would have saved you 50 quid. Okay, sorry. What's the last bit of news?
So we got a release date for the Mario Brothers sequel, the film. It's
I didn't know
coming out
this.
in April next year.
Oh wow, they turned that around quick then, haven't they?
Yeah, April.
I hope it's good.
2026.
I mean, we'll go and see that. We quite enjoyed the
Turn
the
that around
first one, I
quick.
know.
When did the film come out? 2020,
Last year, wasn't it, or was it the year before?
year before.
Still, that's quite quick in development. They usually take like five to. I mean, when you heard about the development of Sing, which is one of Illumination's other big sort of films, it was like 15 years in development. That film, it was nuts. Yeah, it was because who directed it? It was a friend of Adam and Joe's, wasn't it?
Yes.
He was talking about it for
I know,
ages.
but I know what you mean.
Yeah. Okay.
Was it Joe's dad?
No, what? No, it wasn't. I'm looking forward to this film, even if you guys ain't.
No, I mean, I'll watch it. I will be interested to know if this is funnier, if maybe they took on some feedback, or that's just feedback from us. I'm not sure. I wonder if it does have a different vibe. If it doesn't, I'm sure it'll still be fine.
I'm sure it'll be along the same. I mean, it was one of the most lucrative films of all time, wasn't it? So
Yeah, it did make $1 billion, I guess.
Yeah.
Did make a sweet
Not too
Billy.
worried.
Okay,
Make it good this time, you bankers. For me.
That's it. That's all the news. We're done.
Cool, blimey! 1 hour and a half into the show.
I'm sorry.
Let's do what you've been playing.
Good thing there aren't about 20 games in the what
Yeah,
you've
we've
been
got
playing.
quite a few games to talk about, haven't we? Where should we start? We should probably start with, well, I was going to say Elden Ring, but then you've put but not the DLC next to it, Matt.
Yeah,
But
so
seeing as you've played stuff for the first time in ages, do you want to talk about it?
What I did was I was like, oh, the Elden Ring DLC is coming out. And then I realized I had to qualify for it. And luckily, when I finished it, I didn't do New Game Plus. I didn't kind of start again or anything. So all I had to do was kind of kill this one boss called Mog. And yeah,
Do you
I
want to
had to
explain
also,
what you mean by qualify? What do you mean?
well, so there are certain things you've got to have done in order to get to where the DLC kind of opens. But if you start the game fresh, then I think there is like a quick route to get to the DLC. I think like FromSoft done this before with their DLCs, where you've arguably, well, sometimes you might have had to play like 40, 50, 60 hours of a game to even get to where the DLC begins. Thankfully for me, I finished the game and not done New Game Plus, so I was in the end game wandering around anyway. But there was one optional boss I hadn't killed called Mog. So I thought I'll try him. I haven't played it since I finished the game, and my god, it was like having to start all over again. Really, like I had to remember the controls. I was like, God, how did I even do this before? But yeah, and then to even kill him properly or easier, I had to go exploring some other places to get the shackle to lock him down on the ground. Anyway, I did all that.
Thing. So, fun fact: that's the boss that made me bin off Elden Ring in the end. I know
Oh,
he's
really?
optional, but he was. I can't remember. He was part of some other quest line I was pursuing, and that was when I decided I'd had enough. But,
Right, yeah, I hadn't seen this dude before. But yeah, I just thought I want to play a DLC. Obviously, DLC was getting incredible like 9s and 10s last week when the embargo dropped. But yeah, after finding the various things I wanted to do to kill him and change my build slightly and then kill him, I was like, I haven't really got time to play a DLC now before the pod, so I haven't actually done the DLC yet. But I would like to. What I find interesting is a lot of people. I know people being kind of review bombing, or maybe not review bombing, just leaving their honest opinions on Steam, and it's now got a mixed kind of review, or people saying it's too hard. But I think that's a good thing, because often in these kinds of things, if you've like hammered it and you're like level 200, then when a DLC comes out, you like, well, rinse through that as well. But
isn't it apparently
there's a
it's
new
to
leveling
do-
system thing.
Yeah, there's a new system that people haven't quite grasped.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it, but yeah, there's a certain item or resource
You got to collect shards or something, and that it's almost. I mean, having not played this DLC yet, but it seems from the outside a bit like the light level in Destiny, where you have a level, but you also have like a separate level. And like this is, hey, I mean, I think I'm level 168 or something, but actually, everyone's like, it's not really about that. It's really about all these shards you can collect, and the more you do, that kind of helps, like percentage wise increases and helps you be better.
You can see why they've done that, right? They want
Oh,
you
yeah,
to
that's
have
the
that
right thing to do.
experience separately of building yourself up again, rather than just absolutely.
That's 100% the right thing to do. So people whining, saying, "Oh, it's too hard," or "Can't do this, can't do that." Well, I think this is way better than just saying, "Oh, here's more."
Saying that, you've not played it yet, and you might find it too hard, Matt. So probably don't.
Yeah, you've
blame
basically
people
just
who
committed
just
to finishing it with ease.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I just think it's the best thing to do. So no, but it was good going back, and but I haven't done the DLC yet. And just my other love a little bit is that I finished the Alan Wake 2 Night Springs DLC. And last week I thought I was right at the end, and I was probably actually about an hour away from the end. And last week I also said first one, it's very simple, takes like 15 minutes if that. You're the waitress in a diner, and you blast as people with basically like unlimited ammo. Really, really simplistic. Second one, a bit more complex, a bit more puzzly. You're in Coffee World. And the third one, I was like, I think I'm right near the end. But the third one was way more complex and felt much more like Alan Wake. And in fact, it does some new things I hadn't done in Alan Wake 2 as well. And so I'm kind of confused why they made the three so different. I mean, I guess that keeps it interesting and gives it some variety. But the third one is so cool. It's got some really weird things which I won't spoil here, but if you're even vaguely a fan of Alan Wake 2 and you like all the kind of weird stuff it does, then I think this is essential to play. I think it's just brilliant. It's like, I think it's 12 quid to buy, and at first I was like, oh, it's not much for your money, but the third one alone I think makes it brilliant. And I'd love to see more of these kind of smaller episodes, or I know there's one other one that's confirmed, I'm not commenting what it's called, one other kind of pack of DLC that's coming at some point. But yeah, I really liked it, and yeah, my opinion of it now finished after having played and finished the third chapter is much higher than it was last week.
Cool.
That's about it.
All right. Well, I'll quickly rattle through mine because I haven't got too much to say. But I think the most relevant being that I played after hearing about Turok and Perfect Dark being released for the Switch, I was like, do you know what? I'm up for a bit of Turok. I only really played a bit of it when it first come out. I'm up for just seeing what that was like because Turok. Why
I thought it
am I
was
saying
Turok.
Turok?
Turok?
Turok.
Yeah.
Turok.
Turok.
Turok's tea cakes.
Dinosaur Hunter.
Yeah.
And why are they doing this? Why are they re-releasing these games in this fucking state on that
know.
system?
And it's
Is it-
because I played this as well. I tried
Fucking
this.
unplayable.
It's completely
I was going to say
unplayable.
because Turok's aged badly anyway, but I gather this and Perfect Dark are very nasty emulations.
I'll tell you something about this, Sean. Before I played the Switch Online version, I tried. I was for some reason I don't know why, but I was playing the Perfect Dark version that was on the Xbox Series S, right?
Oh yeah.
You know this and totally smooth, really nice to play. Actually, I was starting to get into it. I was like, this is pretty good. I tried the what's called the Switch Online version. Awful. Like it really. I mean, they perfectly emulated it. I'll give them that.
Right.
Because it is
Well,
like
no,
you know,
apparently it's not even a good emulation. I've seen reports, people saying it's just a terrible version all around.
yeah, it's. But also, I don't understand this whole like this mature thing. I don't understand
Why
that. I
don't
mean,
you understand it?
because there's only about 5 games on the N64 that you could say are mature, and it's just
Right.
really odd.
Well,
Like,
name
But
them
they
then.
can't put these two in with the others, can they?
why not? They put
Because
Goldeneye
then-
in before.
Because they're 18 rated games, so they can't.
But what was Goldeneye then?
Probably like
Um,
a 16 or something.
PG.
Oh, no, I
Yeah,
guess
I'm assuming
that was an M, so this must be, whatever the one before that is.
it must be a certificate thing.
Maybe,
But
it's
you're
just
right,
odd.
Goldeneye. Yeah, no, you're right. You got me there. I don't know why Goldeneye would be released in with the others and then Perfect Dark in with this. It is a bit odd. Unplayable, completely unplayable. My favourite thing is Turok when you go. This is unplayable. Hopefully there are some control options. You press start. And it says left hand, right hand. You go and you switch it. It makes no difference. It's an absolute joke. And so I was like, right, okay, so I'm not playing Turok Dinosaur Hunter. That's not happening, right? What I'm going to do is play Perfect Dark instead because I didn't really get far into Perfect Dark. Again, completely unplayable. And I'm going, what the fuck? And what's the point in releasing these games on the Switch then if you're going to do absolutely fuck all to them?
I mean, it's the
And
same
then I
with
remembered they released Perfect Dark on Rare Replay.
yeah, and it's
that's
great.
all part of your Game Pass. I downloaded it. It's in widescreen. It looks way better, and it plays like a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What are Nintendo do? What's the point in doing this? What is the point in doing this?"
Especially,
it's
I
not
mean,
even
at a
like-
bare minimum, they need to remap the controls.
Yeah,
that's
let me
the-
remap the controls.
Yeah.
Let me remap, or just say, do you want it to feel like a modern first-person shooter? You know, all right, it won't play the same because it's not designed to be played like that. However, at least you can control it. Like you can't control this game. It's a joke
it's
how
not
bad
like
it is.
it's something that was just sitting in the archives and they can just wheel it out. Like they will have had to negotiate to get this on the service, right?
Yeah.
And to then just put no effort in, seemingly, it's bizarre.
It looks terrible. Yeah, the way it fit. I mean, Turok was really terrible. I mean, I walked into like a wall, and I was like, I can't figure out how to get out of this now. It's just
What, turn
ridiculous.
around?
It wasn't fog. It was just a wall, was it?
Yeah, utterly pointless, Nintendo. If you're gonna present these games to us again and use them in a direct in like this, then fucking do some work on them to get them playable. At the very least, it's the least you can do, and you just haven't fucking done that. It just feels like shit, to be honest with you.
I remember enjoying Turok multiplayer, like, with the cerebral bore and all that kind of stuff. It was all felt quite exciting at the time. But
I bet
I was
that's
saying
less
to-
fun than you remember.
yes, almost certainly, yeah.
I was saying to Sean in the week that I'm sort of in a bit of a hole at the moment, and I don't know what to play next because I want to play something fun for a change. Like I don't want to play a game like I saw Dredge was on PS Plus Premium, and I've heard such good things. And the amount of reading just to get through the tutorial, I was like, I can't be bothered. Like the game's meant to be brilliant, right? And I'm sure I'm missing out on something really cool. But I'm not in the mood to play a game where I have to read or discover a world or whatever. So I've sort of been in a bit of a rut. I did go back to Cyberpunk, which I understand. Oh, you've got to immerse yourself in a world again, but I've gone through that barrier with that game,
Mm-hmm.
and I've not finished it. So I
I
went.
don't
back
want to
it.
fucking read. Did it
I'm,
require reading or not?
There's no reading.
Good.
Just some very very bad voice acting in that game. Like why in that game are all the lines written without major, like with words taken out of sentences? Like, gotta get a gun. It's like they are, gotta go to the bar, and it's like,
Because it's the future, man.
yeah, it's just really irritating the way it's written, some of that stuff. But ultimately, I finished the River storyline with his nephew finding his nephew. Fucking incredible. It was really, really good, haunting in all the right places. But even then, I feel like I missed out on some of that story because I'm in a mode where I don't want to sit and read terminals. And I had a feeling that you have to read all the emails back and forth, between the nephew and the bad guy of that tale, to really understand the motivations and everything. And I got lucky with my choice at the end, so that sort of made it for me because I'm sure I was supposed to read up a lot. And I couldn't be bothered. But I'm now working my way through the DLC, and I've decided I'm going to do the DLC and then just do the ending because I'm right at the ending in the main part of the game, and I'm just doing I've mentioned it before how if I'm not paying attention, the game switches to the last mission as my waypoint.
Oh yeah,
like if it's not like the next major thing, so
like,
so I'm
fucking hell, I'm here
following the
again.
waypoint. I end up at the bottom of that building again and going, oh for fuck's sake. But I had a really fucking cool weekend with the boys, right? Jo was away for the weekend. She was working away for the weekend. I was looking after the boys. And it's always hard work. I think this was the first weekend where it didn't feel like I wasn't petrified about how much hard work it was going to be. I was kind of like, they're a little bit older now. Charlie's challenging, but, he can, he's the best. He's, hilarious to be around and stuff. So I was like, right, Saturday, I'll take them out to the high street. We'll have a Greg's lunch. They love a Greg's lunch. And we were chatting, and Harry just went, I just had a thought, Dad. When we get home, what they like doing at the moment, and I know Charlie shouldn't be playing it, but what they like doing at the moment is playing Fortnite together. And Charlie goes in his bedroom and plays on the Switch, and Harry goes in the front room and plays on the Xbox. And it's fucking hilarious because they don't need to wear headsets because you can hear Charlie from his bedroom just shouting shit. What is it called? What is it called when you bring someone back to life in that game? Regen me or something. And you go, regen me, like over and over again from his bedroom. So Harry goes, why don't me and you play on the Xbox? We go split screen and Charlie can go on the Switch in his bedroom. And I went, mate, even better than that. I'm downloading it on the PS5 and I'm going in my bedroom and playing on the PS5. You could go in the bedroom, you could go in the front room and Charlie will go in his bedroom. It took a little while to get going because there's some weird connection issues and logging in, and it was just a little bit flaky logging in for the first time. But once I got there, Sean, we all had our headphones on. And we were belly laughing playing together. Really enjoyed it. We weren't just doing battle royale. We were doing sort of like red versus blue and all some of the other modes they have on that game. And Harry was like proudly showing me around while Charlie was going, "Look at my emote!" And it's just the base emote that you get like starting the game. Look at it. It's really rare. He kept going. I'm like, okay. So, like Harry couldn't. He had to come up to me afterwards and go, it's not rare, it's the one that everyone gets at the start. And I'm like, I know, just shut up.
It's 5, and just leave it.
yeah, exactly. And then the next day we played again on a Sunday, and I know it's against bots, and I know that the game manipulates it so that you get a good amount of victory royales, right? So I'm not saying, hey, look at this cool thing we did. But when we won a game of Battle Royale Fortnite, and it come up Victory Royale, and the boys are like running around the flat like they've just won the World Cup. Being a part of that was magical for me. Like I was like, that's the moment. Like that's the moment.
That's a cool memory, isn't it? That they'll remember that.
Cool, yeah, it's total. Someone's been watching Inside Out. It is. Yeah, it's a core memory. Where you think, oh shit, maybe this is the. I know it's going to get a bit sentimental here, but Harry's like now moving into his teen stage. I don't even know if we'll ever get to do that again.
Yeah, you
because
wonder
it'll
how
be a
many
bit too
experiences like
cringe
that
for
you've
him.
got left with all three
Exactly,
of you, right?
exactly, because there's a big age gap between them and stuff. So that was really fucking cool, and I think, or I hope, that might be the moment to drag me out of my gaming funk at the moment, because I've adored it. It was such a cool thing to be part of their world for a change and playing their games and being on the same team and stuff. So yeah, I know it's Fortnite, but fucking hell, what a laugh we had. Also, that game is just weird now. There's all sorts of shit going on.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I was like, what's this? Oh, it's a guitar. What do you do with it? Well, you sort of just hold it down and then it teleports you places. Why? I don't know. We haven't worked it out yet. Okay. Okay. What's this? There's a floating. There's like a concert floating above the island at the moment.
Yeah,
And
because
you
that's
can
the
zip
That's the
right
rock
up there.
band, the
mode.
Guitar Hero type stuff, isn't it? You can do
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Oh, is it? So he was like, "Don't go up there. Everyone's up there." So I was like, "Okay, fine."
Are you tempted to try the Lego survival stuff with them? That'd be a good
I
time with all three
I
of you.
don't
Yeah,
think
that looks
Charlie
great.
likes it, but we'll give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Harry's been getting into it, but Charlie didn't.
They announced a new mode yesterday or today. It was like a new 40-player one where it's got like classic weapons, classic
Okay.
locations,
Old
maybe.
man mode.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Back in my day.
but it's
Two
wild when you look
towers.
through all of the mods and all of that sort of stuff, and you're seeing how many people are playing different game modes at one time, and you go,
Yep.
"Yeah, this game's still massive, isn't it? It's
Mhm.
still absolutely massive." Shit. All right, that's Fortnite. Sean, what have you been playing?
Hello. I have been back to Blade and Sorcery because it hit version 1.0 this week, last week,
Last week, yeah.
recently. So, for anyone who doesn't remember, this is the VR game. So this is available on Steam and probably other PC stores. But there's also Blade and Sorcery Nomad, which is the Quest native version. So that hasn't hit version 1.0 yet. It's been in early access for years, and I've occasionally dipped back in, played it, and enjoyed it. It's it's a VR game, but it's medieval sword and sorcery combat, right? So it's a very realistic like physics model, and you end up doing loads of really gruesome shit just to survive.
You do, and you seem very
Not because
proud
I'm a
of yourself
weirdo.
when you play
Yeah,
this
you love
game.
it.
I'm not believing that anymore. That I'm not a weirdo thing.
I've never heard
No,
you happier.
I would feel bad. So what's interesting is when you're starting out and you're not very good at it, you sort of quickly learn that like the easiest way to kill people is to just take a knife and just go for the eyes, right? And that's like that is reliably the easiest way of killing people. But then once you now that I'm getting better at it, I'm now like, right, no, I'm gonna just get a sword out and I'm gonna actually duel with people and I'm gonna block a hit and then I'm gonna stab them in the eyes. You know what I mean? But yeah, so this has been early access for ages, and for a long while it was just like an arena mode where it would just spawn enemies and you would fight them. And then they sort of started adding what was obviously the first step towards a campaign mode where it would like generate a level, and there'd be a start and an end, and it was sort of randomly putting together different bits of buildings and that was really good fun. And they were adding like more sort of magic powers and stuff. So there's fire, there's lightning, there's like gravity magic, so you can pick stuff up and chuck it around, or make things like float, so you can just make an enemy float into the air and then stab them in the eyes if you want.
Always with the eyes.
Always back
with
to the eyes.
It's just the easiest way, all right. And then basically, so now it's hit version 1.0, and it's interesting because it's clearly a huge leap forward, right? It now has like a fully fledged campaign mode that you can play from start to finish, and it's amazing. But I think if it was just released like this, there's clearly it's clearly work still to be done, right? So like the campaign mode's great, but it's still very obviously like you're doing these levels which are very obviously like certain templates that are being remixed every time.
Yeah.
Which is enough, but I think if you were coming to this fresh, you'd be a bit like, oh, are they not completely like these aren't like completely new levels every time necessarily. And basically the way it works is you'll look at a map and there'll be different levels to choose from, with like, it'll say, it's this environment and it's this enemy faction or whatever, which hasn't made much of a difference yet. But I gather once you get further in, it's like there'll be enemy factions where it's like, oh, they're all wearing like plate armor, right?
Right.
And that becomes a problem. So yeah, and it'll tell you what the rewards are. So you're trying to do 2 levels where you get a section of a map, and then once you've got 2 of those, you can then do like a longer dungeon where there's a boss fight at the end, and then you get one of these fucking magic crystals that you're after. And yeah, and those magic crystals unlock abilities, and so the magic stuff that was already in the game is there. So like say the fire and the lightning and stuff. But what's really cool is there's now like a mind stone and a body stone, and those are the ones I've gone for. And I'm like, so like once you've got those, you then like buying new upgrades to those and getting new skills and stuff. And it's weird little things like, so I've got like telekinesis, right? That's part of the mind stone thing. So if an object is far away, you can pick it up, and initially you can just like pull it towards yourself. So it's really useful if there's like weapons on the floor. You can just grab them, pull them towards your hand, and then start stabbing people with them in the eyes. But then once you start leveling it up, it's like you can just pick stuff up off the floor, and without actually holding it, you've got pretty much total control over it in the air. So you're waving your hand around, and this sword is like 6 feet away, and it's waving around relative to your hand, right? So you can technically have a fight with someone who's not even right in front of you. They can be a distance away, and you're just going like, hey, just sort of making this sword dance around. I know I've got this ability where if I hold 2 buttons down, it just starts spinning around like a helicopter. So you basically, like, there'll be a crowd of enemies, and I can just sort of throw a sword out in front of me, hold it in midair, make it spin, and then just sort of walk towards them as it just sort of
It's like
spins through 'em.
helicoptering, like
Yeah, it's absolutely hilarious. And then like I've got this other ability where if I'm like in the air and if I'm holding like a bladed weapon and I like stab at an enemy, I'll like dash down at them. Which, like, even if it doesn't necessarily connect, sometimes you'll just knock them over. So it's, like, hilarious if there's, like, 4 or 5 enemies in, like, a tight space and you just do that at them and they all just go flying. When I was streaming it the other night, I was showing people that move and, like, did it and sort of missed the guy. And then my sword got stuck in, like, a bookcase. Got stuck in this book, and I had to, like, put my other hand on it and, like, pull the sword out again. It's so much fun. Like, just... Like the campaign stuff is cool, and like there's new environments and stuff which are really nice, and like some of the traversals quite fun, like climbing around stuff, climbing up ropes, swinging from things. But like it's always like the combat has always been fun enough that you can get away with like, oh, here's just like a series of rooms with baddies in them, like have at it.
Can I be a bellend?
Go on then.
Is there part of you that's going, this makes me feel a bit fucked up?
Yes. Initially, like you
How
sort
do you
of
deal with initially? Then you get used to it.
Then he's like,
just
oh,
end up,
this was great.
jaded.
get
Yeah,
desensitized.
Then you just
I think like
fucking
part of me is
love
like, yeah, but it's not actually worse than stuff you see in games all the time. It's just obviously
Sure.
feels weird. But as I say, you progress from the sort of, oh, I need to survive at all costs, so I'm just going to do the most horrible shit, to like, no, I'm just going to fight people properly, and this feels less weird now. But then 100% there will be people who just play this to be as sadistic as possible.
Well, I
and
mean,
that feels
do you
weird.
remember Manhunt on the Wii and
Yeah.
the fact
Yeah.
that press went nuts for it because all you
Yeah.
do is step in motion with your Wii? Well, yeah, I know, but lots of kids are playing the Quest, and look at what they're doing on this fucking
Yeah.
thing.
And because there'll be situations, and again, if I've streamed it a couple of times this week because I've been playing it non-stop, and it's just, oh, this is too funny. I need to show people this. But there'll be situations. So like one of my abilities is I can sneak up behind people, and I'm supposed to be able to like pickpocket their weapons, right? But what often happens is I'll just miss, and then I'll just like grab their arm or their neck, and I'm like, oh fuck, oh no, and then I'll just start punching them in the face because I'm just like panicking, right? And that's quite funny, but also I can see why, from an external point of view, you might be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yes, there is a bit of that. There's a bit of that, yeah.
All I can tell you is it's fun, unfortunately.
And that's the end of that.
And it's not like these people are innocent.
That's
They are
all I
trying,
have to say about that.
They are all running at you, trying to kill you. So
Yeah,
it's
but
not
Yeah, so
like
self-defense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but they're defending themselves as well, aren't they, from you?
no,
you
you just
monster.
show up and then they just come at you, man. They're not provoked at all.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, if you're
Justified.
playing it stealthily, because like it's what is fucked up, and I've stopped doing
Unless
it
you're
because
playing it as stealth.
no, you can. You can like this is what I'm saying. So this is something I've stopped doing because I found out you could do it and tried it, and I was like, no, this feels horrible. So basically, you can creep up behind someone, and if you put your hand like around their mouth and then grab it, you will like put your hand over the mouth, and then you can slit the throat.
Oh god,
For a perfect
I
stealth game.
don't know.
Which again is
man.
nothing you haven't done in games before, but it's no, feels weird. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Don't do that anymore.
Yeah, well, if you could do it off stream.
Yeah.
Privacy your own home.
But then what's
Yeah,
interesting is
stiff
so
as
when
a
you do
brush.
one of these longer dungeons where you get one of these crystals, right? What? Go on.
Matt just used this stiff as a brush phrase
Oh, sorry.
again. he's dropped that a couple
It's
of
like, yeah,
times.
it'll land
Yeah,
this
yeah.
time. It's definitely going to work this time. So when you do one of the longer dungeons, there's a boss at the end of it, which is really cool. It's like a big rock golem sort of thing, and he's got like, and it's very typical video gamey stuff. He's got some crystals on him, and those are his weak points. But
Has he
they're
got
all
eyes,
shielded.
Sean?
It hasn't got-
can you
well,
go
no,
for
it
his
hasn't
eyes?
got
After
eyes.
Sean's finished with him.
And then there's these crystals dotted around the environment, right? And they've also got shields on them, but one by one the shields turn off. So you're like, right, you basically find one of the crystals that doesn't have a shield on it, smash that, and that will like disable the boss for like 10, 20 seconds or whatever. Then you run over to him, and then you've got to smash as many of these crystals as you can, and then he gets back up, and then another crystal is vulnerable in the environment. And they're all like, again, placed in sort of weird bits, so you might be sort of climbing around, swinging from ropes or whatever to try and reach those while this boss is trying to get you.
Yeah.
Those are brilliant, but they're a little bit buggy. I've had a couple of instances where I'm climbing around on this guy because he's got all these like spikes coming out of him, and you can like grab those and climb around on him, and you're sort of swinging from his arms and trying to slash these crystals. And then I'll just die randomly, which I guess is like the physics are just like, oh no, you moved his arm in a weird way and you've been crushed or whatever. And there are no checkpoints in those levels, and they can be really long. So that's something that really needs sorting out. But it's you play those fights and you're like, yeah, this doesn't need to just be creepy, stabby game. Like this, there's something else like they can do with this. But that is the only all that I've seen. That's like the only boss fight. So I've done like 2 or 3 of these, and they've all been that same guy. So as I say, they've added loads, and it is like a complete game from start to finish. But there's a lot of repetition, and there's still a lot of potential here, I think. So that's Blade and Sorcery.
Cool.
Promise I'm not a psychopath.
No, don't
It's
believe you.
self-defense is fine. Excuse me. The other game I've been playing, demo of The Altars. So this is by Christ, I forgot what they're called. But it's the Frostpunk / This War of Mine developers. There was a trailer for this a little while ago, and I was already intrigued. And yeah, there's been a demo on Steam for it. So this is the one. I think we talked about it before briefly, where you're a guy who has gone on this expedition to this faraway planet to mine this special resource. Thank you, Ben. 11-bit is the studio.
They've stolen that from Starfield. Go on.
And basically, you've arrived, and the rest of your crew is dead for mysterious reasons. You're the only one left, and it turns out this planet is not easy to survive on. So you find your way to your sort of home base, your sort of vehicle. It's like this weird. But imagine like a big bicycle wheel with all buildings on the spokes, and it rolls around by itself. And basically, so you start off, you find that craft vehicle, home base, whatever you want to call it, and it's very clear that stuff's gone wrong, things are broken, things need fixing, and you're just one guy. So then you're going out, you're finding resources to build more stuff, to build up this base, add more rooms to it, move stuff around, reconfigure it, whatever. And then basically it is revealed to you, and this is all in the trailers and stuff, so this is not a spoiler. It is revealed to you that this craft has this like quantum computer, which is capable of looking at your life's events, right? So it shows you this guy's like life as it has panned out from birth to, I think he's like 35 years old or something. And yeah, and it's like all his major life events. And the way you get more help is by making clones of yourself who made different life choices and
Yeah.
have ended up with different personalities, different sets of skills or whatever based on their circumstances and their choices. And it's, I mean, obviously it's only a demo, so you create one guy, and it handles it so well. Like, I was not worried, but like from the trailer, it was very much like, haha, look, there's loads of versions of himself, and some of them are a bit kooky, and you know, it's like kind of played for laughs, right?
And the main gameplay like elements just look a bit dull.
Yeah,
I think it's fair to
like
say.
pretty standard. Yeah, running around finding resources, hooking things up, and gathering
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. But yeah, and you spawn this first clone of yourself who, and you know, and the main character's like story is quite heavy. There's stuff about like basically your dad was abusive, but like you promised your mum that you were going to get out and go to university and make something of yourself, right? And the first guy you clone, basically he decided to stay with your mum. And yeah, like the story doesn't fuck around. Like, you create this guy and he's just immediately like, what the fuck is going on? Who am I? Like, you know, he knows who he is, but neither you nor him understand if he's been like removed from his timeline or have you just cloned him, and then who's the real you, and you know, that all that stuff. And he fucking hates you initially because he's like, why have you done this? This is so
why have you taken me out of my life?
yeah. If you have, right, or you've just created him out of nothing or whatever. But he, yeah, as far as he's concerned, he's got a life that he's been taken from, right? And your response is like, well, the computer's broken and it said you'd be a technician, so let's and yeah, and basically you have to find ways to like patch that relationship up and
cool.
sort of come to terms with him, and that will happen for, you know, like however many people you end up spawning. It's handled really well. Like, it's clear that like budget wise, it's sort of, I would put it on sort of Life is Strange level, so it's not like super duper AAA necessarily. The bits of it look amazing, but then like as you're running around the environment, it's very much you guys like like just sort of sprinting around, and it looks kind of silly.
It does sound stupid,
but it's but the all the stuff about the making clones of yourself who've made these other, and like I say, you see this map, it's like, right, computer's like, right, if you change this decision here, then this all this stuff will happen to him, and then he'll be a technician. And you can
I assume the one that
it.
went to uni is really good at guessing the price of antiques.
That joke is lost on me, I'm afraid.
That's a bargain hunt gag.
Okay.
Kind of.
Wow, that was a fucking stretch to get there.
There are people cracking up right now.
No, I don't think there is.
Maybe I should have done a countdown reference.
So yeah, and then
you live and learn.
Way off,
so
wasn't it, James? That wasn't a good one, was it?
But James was asleep.
It was dreadful. I mean,
It's the first thing James said all night. Yeah.
So you're looking at this map, and like, and it's like, yeah, so he made this different decision, and then here's how his life sort of branched off and the things that happened to him, and it's like genuinely interesting, like reading through it. It's like really nicely written.
Cool.
Yeah, really excited.
Yeah,
this
looks awesome. I remember seeing a trailer around Summer Game Fest time, and I was like, this looks exactly like the kind of.
It's coming to consoles as well, isn't it? It's not just PC, so
crucially,
that's good.
So very excited.
So I complete.
Quick one, because it's very old. I finally started playing Return of the Obra Dinn.
Oh, nice.
So
you didn't play this at all.
With the funny visuals.
It's the ship one with the funny visuals. Sorry, Matt, what were you going to say?
You didn't play this when it came out originally?
No, for some reason. Don't know why, because it's very obviously my sort of thing. This actually came about because I've been desperately trying to get into Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, and then I thought, I know, let's see if Nu wants to play it with me, because she likes solving puzzles as well. We'll do it together. We'll make notes. We'll sort things through. That'll make it much more engaging. Nope, didn't work. We both bounced off it, and I was like, let's try something else that is meant to be really good.
Go in on it. Go on. Go in. Slate it. Go on. Let's get a little bit of
all that happened
controversy
with
going.
like I don't know why I've
It's
misfired
shit.
with it. You know, everyone says it's great. We'd
wrong.
reached this point where it was like, here's a puzzle book with a load of puzzles in it, and
Yes, that was
and
good.
it was and we were going through this puzzle book, and it's like, oh, the answer to each of these puzzles is going to be a number between 0 and 99, and we're like, right, that's going to be that series of numbers is going to be something important. That's really cool. And then we I don't know, we did like 7 or 8 of them. And we're just like, we're just doing a puzzle book now. This is
So that puzzle book was what I
Right,
said when I
puzzle book.
took screenshots of all the various things and I was doing them when I
Right.
wasn't playing the game. Yeah, and then
Mhm.
going back and
yeah.
going to the various places where those answers are significant. Yeah.
It just, I don't know. It reached a point where we're just staring at the telly now and just going, I don't know.
12.
That's gaming, baby.
So, yeah. So then we moved on to Obra Dinn. It's fucking great. It's so good. We've only done about an hour of it, but it's just like the atmosphere it conjures up, despite like the visuals, or maybe because of the visuals, right? The fact that it's this very sort of pared down visual representation of the ship, like the stuff it does with the audio and stuff. It's just, it's so good. Have you? So Matt, obviously you played it.
I have, but I didn't play enough because I was getting stuck and I didn't want to look at a solution because I read if you do that, you basically, because if you basically you've got no chance of really going back because it all kind of links. And I got stuck, and I played it for a fair bit, and I loved everything, the vibe, the look. I loved how it kind of formulated the puzzles, but it's getting a little bit tricky, and then I just didn't want to cheat or didn't want to look up a guide, and I just stopped. Sadly, it's a big regret because everyone says it's so good, and I enjoyed what I played, but just caught between two places and didn't go back.
I played it and finished it as well
Okay.
because I mean I loved how it looked as well. Like as you said, the atmosphere, the whole sort of thing. But I never really completely clicked with it because of what it is, and that's on me. It's because I just don't enjoy that kind of gameplay very much. Even though, and I did feel like I was kind of forcing my way through it when I played it. But that's my problem. I know I understand it. It is very well designed and very well put together. I just didn't click with it so much. But it's
Because I found like in the first sort of hour or so, it's felt really nice in that there's just enough guardrails to stop you completely losing the thread.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that, like, does that continue or does it really
Not
sort of
really.
leave you to it later on?
Yeah, you start to. Not really.
Yeah, I think that's why I lost myself as well.
You start. I mean, it is one of those games where you do start to have to write things down, which, or at least I did, and that I never enjoyed doing that. That was that was a bit irritating, but it's yeah. But no, it's but it is. I'm glad you're enjoying it because it is really good.
Yeah, Noo's loving it as well, so we're definitely going to continue with that. And that's it.
Cool.
for me.
James, you got the last dibs on what you've been playing this week.
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep it not too much because I mean, I've talked about one of these games. I've talked about a load already anyway, but I did finish Infinite Wealth a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, it's probably maybe the best one I think of all of these like Yakuza like a Dragon games. Despite, I mean, this is the thing. This is a game which is turn-based, and I really don't like turn-based games, but this made me like them, and which is kind of incredible. I mean, mostly because they really they streamline the whole process and make everything like. This is what's bizarre, isn't it, about turn-based stuff? Is you see, fundamentally, I don't like it as a concept because I don't like the idea of grinding. I find it very, very irritating. I don't enjoy it at all. But with this, they managed to build so many systems in to make it not irritating that I became fine with it. Like to the point where what happens is that there's the usual thing when you're walking around the world or whatever, and you get attacked by random people or whatever. Once you get to certain levels in this, it doesn't matter because you just press a button and he just auto defeats them. Because your level's so much higher than theirs that you don't even have to go through the motions of fighting them. It just does
So
it.
then but then my argument against that then is like, why do it then?
Why do it?
Because you still need to do this so that you gain experience or whatever like that.
Grind.
It still has to be there because if you don't have that, then I'm not sure how they'd be able to create challenge later on when you're fighting bosses and stuff. Because otherwise, there has to be this mechanic where your character is leveling up. Otherwise, it just doesn't. It wouldn't work.
My ideal solution to turn based is that you never lose. There you go. I know the people that like that stuff, I'm sure, are furious, but I never want to lose at those things because it makes me go, "Oh no, I picked the wrong menu button." Like
Yeah,
I've never
that's also
understood. I've never got it.
that's the other thing that this does really well because even so, it has degrees of control, like over the turn-based stuff. Like for some things, you can just like skip it entirely if you're powerful enough that you can do that. But then also it has an auto mode as well. So when you go into those again, if they're pretty easy, you just switch on auto, and you can choose like if you want your characters to be aggressive, if you want them to just be balanced or whatever, and then they just go ahead and do the whole thing. But then also if
So
you
it's
want
like
to,
Football Manager at that point.
yeah, it's kind of like that, yeah. And then it's good because then later on, once you get into more complicated battles, then you have to take greater control over it. But you feel that you can because because of the options it gives you. But that's what I enjoyed about the whole thing. You really have this sort of like pared down system that makes it so not irritating for people like me that don't like it. And that was the thing, which was really good. But then also, I mean, the other thing that works really well is it has this whole system of like the bonds as well that you create between your characters, and these are done through these drinking links where like you go to the bar, you chat with people, and then you kind of like develop a story with them. So there's about like every character has one of these, and then once you do this and you sort of you build this relationship with them, this impacts the combat as well, whereby they work more effectively in combat together, they do moves together that you wouldn't normally get, and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. But the other thing, this is why I think this game is so good, because they managed to take all of these components, all of these different things. There's so many like sort of game mechanics, so many different mini games, side stories. There's this whole thing called Sujimon, which is basically Pokemon, but the whole thing is just completely, most of it is optional. Like all of this stuff you can engage with as much or as little as you want to, and you don't feel shortchanged if you don't do this. It's not being absolutely forced into doing it, and that's what I really liked about it. But the star of the whole thing is really just the story and the character development, because it's so impactful. The narrative is so strong, especially with Kiryu's journey, because there's things happen to him in this game that is based on, again, all the things that have happened in the previous games. And whilst you could play this game without playing any of the others, the emotional impact is so much stronger having played all those other games. Like it really is. Like you really get that connection, and it's so well constructed, particularly the ending. And I just want, I mean, I finished this, and I then went and played Doom Eternal, which I'll talk about in a second, and now I've gone straight into playing Lost Judgment, because I wanted to get back into that again.
I've got a feeling Doom Eternal didn't go well then.
Well, no, you see, that's the thing. I mean, I finished Doom Eternal. I played through it. It's
really?
It's not very long. It's only about 10 or 11 hours, I think.
Right.
And so I played it after over a week, like every evening sort of thing. And it's not a very good game. Let's
not,
be
is
honest.
it?
It's really not. And the problem is like the first third of the game, it introduces so many systems and upgrades and like game mechanics and all that kind of stuff, and it's just constantly giving you this stuff, and it's really irritating because it's just like I just want to. It is like this is Doom. I just want to shoot stuff, and and I want to get into the flow like we did with Doom 2016, which was what was so fun about that.
So good. They nailed it, didn't they? And then they tried to add to that, and it just didn't need adding to.
And they've got all these like upgrade systems, and the trouble is the upgrades don't even feel impactful or exciting. Like you're using them, and I'm just thinking I don't really care about any of these. They're not exciting at all. And also, there's a massive problem with this with ammo scarcity, where there's hardly any ammo in the game. Like all the time, you're basically running down the ammo. And the thing that I found irritating about this was that like one of the things that was really cool with the other remake was the fact that you could tactically choose which weapons you were using. When you went into encounters, and that was part of the fun. With this, I just felt like I was always just using whatever I had that had ammo in it, and it was just like until it ran down. It was really terrible.
I remember the what was it? The sort of crab enemies with the turrets on top.
Yeah, there was
they just irritate the fact. Like the idea was that you're supposed to use the sniper rifle on them.
Yeah.
Who wants to use a sniper rifle in a Doom game?
Yeah.
No one. It was so you had to stand there and line up your shot, and I'm like, I should be running in with shotguns. Like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, it's I think everyone really wanted that game to be good, and I think that there was a sense of goodwill when that game first came out, and it had a lot of people going, no, this is really good actually, but really, I think looking back on it, it was a bit of a failure of a sequel.
See, and it's a shame because I mean, as Shai's saying in the chat, it's like you do finishers to get health and ammo, and it's true, you do. But then the trouble is that like the amount of ammo you can carry is less. So so you're constantly having to do this to keep things sort of like topped up all the time, and I don't know. I mean, as I said, after the training wheels come off and they kind of leave you to your own devices a bit, it gets a bit better. But it does also have all those really irritating like platforming sections as well,
platforming
which
bits
were
shit, yeah.
really terrible.
Oh, like the wall climbing and stuff. I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wall climbing and all that sort of stuff.
But this is why I'm also skeptical about this new one that's coming. Like after playing this, because if they're following the similar sort of patterns as this, I'm a bit more
won't.
worried about that. I mean,
No, they
hopefully they'll change it, but I see. Also, I don't really like the medieval theme. Like I prefer like for me, Doom's always been like it's like hell and like modern tech and that kind of thing. I mean, I saw the trailer for that and it looks like Quake. Like that's what you think
it's
when
a
you
lot
look
of
at
Quake
that.
vibes. Yeah,
It's I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they'll have gone back to the drawing board a bit and stripped things back again. But yeah, it's good.
Throw a shield.
is
It's
that
basically a Captain America game.
yeah. You can grind up
true.
skulls and use them as
That's true.
bullets.
That's true. Are you done?
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
much
what we've been playing this week, and we're getting on. So let's just do a couple of questions.
Cheeky couple of questions. If you want to send us a question, go to tcgs.co/Dear TCGS. Maria Mendieta says, Dear TCGS Combo Breakers, Penny's Big Breakaway translates the feeling of controlling a yo-yo as its central mechanic by asking you to circle or flick the right stick. You could alternatively use the face buttons, but there's something compelling about having your hands replicate the trajectory of the yo-yo without hitting your face in the process. Which game has made you feel as if you were actually handling the weapons or items in the game with the controller? Keep up the always impressive work. Sincerely, Maria.
What was that game that came out? It was Deathloop. That was it. That made me feel like I was holding a gun because of the dual sense, like the kickback and everything from shooting it. And I
Yeah,
really
the triggers
enjoyed
were
that.
awesome in that.
Partially press the trigger and you would see the finger when like squeezing it in. Yeah.
It felt very good to play. That game did. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, Call of Duty did that as well, and it does make a difference, especially when you feel it when you're holding the button down and you're having that haptic feedback in the. I can't downplay how cool that shit is and how much better it is than the fucking motors you get in that we've had as Rumble.
Yeah, definitely.
In recent years, it makes such a big. But also for me, another one is Gran Turismo on the PS5. When you hit the chicanes and not the chicanes, what the red and white bits on the corners? I can't remember what they call them.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
When you go over them and it genuinely feels like you're going over them and like you're holding onto a steering wheel and because we've all hit the bloody was it cat's eyes on a motorway or whatever, or got over the bit on the edge of the motorway. You get that feeling in the steering wheel. That absolutely nails that feeling. It's incredible. It feels like you're holding a steering wheel. It's nuts.
Skate is the obvious answer.
Oh yeah.
Because obviously, because it's all about that right stick being analogous to your feet on the board, isn't it?
That's true.
That feels really good. Similar, but not necessarily good. There was a PC game called Die by the Sword, and it was one of these early games that was like it's like sword fighting, but it's all very physics based, and you could set it so that like different number keys were bound to sort of different swings with the sword, or you could just control it freely with the mouse, which was so bad but really funny, because he's just like trying to control this character and his arms just sort of completely independent of his body, sort of swinging around with the mouse. So that was very funny but not actually useful.
So you talk about Skate. The other answer to that is the Fight Night games, where they changed the right on the stick was your right hand, left on the stick was your left hand, and you curl it to do the haymaker, or you down up to do a uppercut and all that sort of stuff. That felt really good.
Wasn't there a hockey game as well where it was just there weren't like set moves anymore? It was just left stick player, right stick.
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah.
It's your stick. Yeah.
Don't
which
think anyone
sounds
played
cool,
it like that, but
it's
probably
an
absolute nightmare. Matt, you got an answer?
No.
Okay.
I mean, my only answer was going to be Midtime Madness on the PC, but that was only because I had Microsoft Sidewinder wheel.
Oh yeah,
And that felt
That
bloody
and
brilliant. Like the feedback on
Motocross.
that.
Motocross Madness was the one as well.
I always wanted one of those Sidewinder game pads. But I don't know.
Yes,
we have
yeah.
one
After
for it.
getting the wheel, I was like, I really wanted a gamepad. But
Plug that into your
Midtown
middle
Madness. But who owns that franchise? I mean, that's probably pointless
Microsoft.
now. But
Presumably still
Yeah, don't
Microsoft,
bring it
yeah.
back. It was bad at the time.
I remember me and my sister just like spending hours basically like pretending we were real drivers in the city and stopping for traffic lights, and it was
Yep, we did that.
that was fun, wasn't it?
I
That was
remember that
fun.
one on the 360, was it Midtown Madness 3, had really offensive accents in it.
Did it?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, from a really
And
bad
that's
and
not
really offensive.
long enough ago to forgive that in any way, is it? That's not.
Well, we didn't forgive it at the time, no.
Okay.
But we just ignored it and went on the online mode. Do you remember the online mode? We played loads of that, James.
Midtime Madness. I don't remember playing that.
Midtown Madness on the original Xbox. We played lots of it.
I remember
on
people loving
Xbox
it.
Live. The reason big, it had like game modes. The game modes were shit. So
Mm-hmm.
what we did was free roam mode, where we just tried to glitch out of the map
Yes,
constantly.
I do remember this. Yeah.
We were treating it like we could try and break the game. Like
Mm-hmm.
there was like a monument that was a circle, and if you hit a ramp just right, you could go like do a loop in this like monument thing. And then there was another bit where if you hit a certain ramp at a certain angle, you could fly through a window and out of the map, and then start. We spent hours trying to do that. It was mad. It's an absolute waste of time.
But
Okay.
fun.
Well, I don't know if it was,
I
mate.
don't know if it was.
But time wasting.
Yeah.
Last question comes from Kurt Lewin. I don't know why the way he ends this proper.
Yeah, I've read it.
It says, "Hi chaps, that Lego Zelda Deku tree looks nice, doesn't it? It got me
Does.
thinking. If you could have a Lego set for anything that doesn't already exist, as in it doesn't already have a Lego set, what would you have? Might be a boring answer, but I would like Lego versions of all the cars I've owned." Cheers.
Yeah.
How many have you had, Kurt?
Yeah.
Hell.
Vauxhall Nova.
Got triples of a Nova. Triples.
Yeah.
On the jazz.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a sincere answer rather than a funny one. But there's a fake Lego website that does builds for football grounds.
Yeah, I've
And
seen that. Yeah.
I'm itching for them to do a Millwall one. I'd love to make a Lego den. Love that. That's the answer. Sitting there doing that with Harry. Yes, please. I'll have some of that.
Because the actual ones they've got, obviously they're limited. It's like Man City, Liverpool, etc., etc. But like they're really expensive as well, aren't they?
Yeah, I'd pay it. Just have a Millwall one. Lovely old job. Yeah, that actually maybe not. They're 400 quid. What the frick?
Yeah,
Oh,
it is.
that sort of
Would
cash.
like
It
a
is cray.
Lego interpretation of the big mech from Cybernator on the SNES because it's cool and it's one of my favourite games.
Oh, well.
Boring answer.
There we go. That's an answer for you, Matt.
I would like a Lego police station. James?
Okay.
Can we just dig into that? Why
No, because when I think Lego set, like that is the classic Lego set we got as a kid, like the police station.
Or
Yeah.
the fire
Fair
station. That was
Or that. Well, I was more
Not
police
Not me
station.
when I was a
myself.
kid. I got the
That's the-
fucking Playmobil
Do you play?
police
Playmobil, yeah.
station.
Playmobil.
There's
Jesus.
definitely something about Lego where it's like, where it's like a building or whatever, but then there's the inner world of it.
Yeah,
There's definitely something very cool
the
about that.
cells. Yeah,
Do you know when I
Yeah.
got
Weird thing to focus on, Matt. But
because that was fun again. Trapping all my Lego folks
the
in the cells. That was
filthy
great.
criminals in
my
the
parents always did
Get
that.
in
They
there.
never went with the mainstream, right? So we ended up with Playmobil shit. And I remember one Christmas, I had a Playmobil boat, and it was like a rescue boat or something. It was like and I opened it up, and I remember being disappointed. I must have been 5 or 6. I remember being disappointed that it didn't come with an anchor. Right? So
What kind of boat was it?
mum-
If it had been Lego, you could have built one yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
Lack of imagination.
a rescue ship, and so she wrote to Playmobil and said my son was upset it wasn't an anchor, and we got a reply with an anchor. There was an anchor in the letter, but they went, but just to let you know, these boats don't have anchors. And I was like, okay, fine, but why have you told a 5-year-old that? Just give him an anchor.
I mean, I was about to say the same thing, you know.
Passive aggressive.
You're the anchor
person
Ben on
wrote
this
that
week.
letter. Wrote that letter. But just to let you know, your son's an idiot.
If
Here's
your son
anchor,
really wants
fuck
the
off.
boat to be factually inaccurate,
Yeah.
then
Then
Yeah.
done him.
Yeah.
Here's the anchor.
you want him to grow up to be thick.
The magic of Playmobil.
Here's
Where
also a
your
massive iceberg, you,
imagination-
you prick.
where your imagination will be corrected because it's not factually accurate.
Never dream. That's the slogan.
But my genuine answer for this is like arcade cabinets. And I don't
Yeah.
like,
That'd be a good
like
shout.
you can get. I'm sure you can. There are like Lego sets with like mini arcades and
Full
stuff.
size?
But like, no, not full size. Like I've seen them, and I think someone from Play One Podcast does this actually, James, where they have like a mini arcade. Have you seen that?
That's cool.
With like a mini carpet and stuff. I'm not sure what size they are, but I can imagine like getting loads of them and maybe collecting them and little different sets. That'd be cool as fuck. Not necessarily licensed, or that would be good as well. But yeah, little nice little Lego arcade. That'd be great. That's my answer.
Nice.
Deal with it.
James, fancy an answer here?
Yeah. A little podcasting studio. There you go.
All right.
I think they would do that.
Absolutely
they?
zero effort
I
to
think
that.
I've seen something like that. Yeah.
It was either that or Camarucho, but that's just too obvious. So
I thought you were gonna say massive
your-
dong.
Your Lego podcast studio will come with no minifigures though. Will it? Socials, Matthew.
Yeah.
let's
Which
get
one of
to
you
that.
twats is doing a stream this week?
No, I'm alright. Well, because we've got to do the Patreon stuff on Wednesday.
Good
Can we
point.
just get rid of the stream bit because it's just embarrassing at this point.
Okay, cool. Well, no streams because fuck that. But yeah, on Wednesday
I was
night.
gonna do it. I was gonna do a stream.
Okay. Well, go on. What are you streaming?
Dark Souls 3.
Okay, when? What are you doing?
Friday.
Well, what time?
Normal time, 9 o'clock.
Okay,
Normal
10 past 9.
Because you
10
put
past 9.
normal
everyone.
time on the poster. Can you imagine that? Saying, you two playing here at normal time. Normal time.
Doors open before normal time.
I always hit bang on 9.
Do you?
No.
All right, well,
No,
that is
can't
normal
check.
time.
Anyway, James's Friday
Normal time is another great episode title, by the way.
normal time.
Holy
I've
shit.
this is literally a record of how many episode titles I've.
What have we
loads of
got?
them, yeah.
Because it'd be interesting to see. Don't say which one you prefer. Just read out the ones we've got, and it'd be interesting to see which.
Can I
one
get for the
we've actually
socials?
got.
Then I'll do it.
Go on.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So
Is
Wednesday
this a
night,
trick to
9
make
p.m.
people listen to the socials? Be like,
Yes,
this
it really
enough.
is.
Shut up, Sean.
Really is.
Wednesday night at 9 p.m. for your patron support of the £8.50 and above tier, you'll watch us talk over Chegwin. That's all we need to know. Information will be going out. It'll be out by the time you listen to this, but Wednesday night at
Sean,
9.
James, Dave, Cheggers. We're
Yeah.
we're all in there.
All there.
Indeed.
That's 9 p.m. Wednesday night. And the information will be out on Patreon by the time you listen to this. And listen to it live, because I haven't done it yet. And James, as you just mentioned, is streaming on Friday night on twitch.tv/TCGSco. If you miss it live, search for TCGS on YouTube. You can watch the VOD. If you've got Amazon Prime and a Twitch account, connect to him. You get a 1 free sub a month. Come over to our channel and give us your free sub. We really appreciate it. We genuinely do. And the Patreon is patreon.com/TCGS. If you want to listen to June's Patreon bonus show. And or watch the Chegman thing I just mentioned. And the website's tcgs.co for links to our amazing Discord community, store, and other bits. Do you want to see the episode titles? We're going to be a
please.
while.
You got.
Throwing your hat into the ring.
Yeah.
That seems like a year ago. That.
Yeah, I love shitting on anybody.
I just got. I'll shit on anything.
Yeah, really wanted to pound Xbox. All this works. Is this a bit? Into the Christmas because of the cock. Spool Sports Day. Torsion Bros. One of the ones. Space Spam. Like the detective. It never does go cheap. Completely unplayable. Haunting in all the right places. Go for the eyes. Always with the eyes. It's like helicoptering and normal time.
The only additional one I've got is fucked my Segway.
Oh, that would be good.
But we can't because it's got swearing.
Thank you so much for living it. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, James, you in next week? You up for it?
What is it? Yeah, hopefully.
It's
yeah.
Monday. Demo on Monday nights.
Monday nights.
Hopefully, yes.
Let me tell you
yes.
about demo Monday nights.
You're back 2 weeks in a
We'll
row.
Well, maybe.
You're gonna be all right.
Hopefully.
It's on a
Do
winning
you
streak.
genuinely not know?
Well,
Oh, here
No.
we go.
Oh my
no,
god!
told you,
I thought this was a bit.
No. Okay, look. Right. As far as I know, the internet where I'm going is fine.
Well,
That's all.
that's next week, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Right. But this is the last time anything might potentially go wrong.
Yeah.
Right. We'll see you next week. Just me, Sean, and Matt.
Yeah.
I'll catch you
Three man
later.
show,
I'll
baby.
be there. You'll see. It'll be fine.
Love you all. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for
Bye.
So,
Bye.